Miami Homestead. Formula Ford is a free race event, all at Sandown, that most famous of Australian circuits, second only potentially to, well, I say potentially, almost certainly to Bathurst and Phillip Island, probably the third most famous event. And here we are live for race 2. We're unable to bring you race 1 due to some technical issues, but we are live for race 2, and the cars are off to a rip-roaring start. Smoke all over the field. Trying to get these cars off the line is not easy. There's no traction control. It is very difficult. Watch them going 2 by 2 up to the first corner. A tricky left-hander. First lap, it's probably going to be okay, but look for that to be a danger area after lap 1 as cars approach there with a lot of speed, and they just brake a little bit too late and go off deep there. It looks like there's chaos in front of us there. Apologies if the cars are blinking for your stream. I'll do my best to commentate what I can see, but there's a lot of blinking going on. We've had some technical issues trying to get the CPU load within a reasonable level on our producer Sam Chapman's computer. Colin Nixon currently in the lead. Looks like he's coming under attack from Glenn Sedo Riddell in the pulse tuning entry. Colin Nixon going a little bit wide. They're going all over the curb. He's getting really defensive, having to take an inside line down here. One of the trickiest corners on the circuit. It's hard to explain just how downhill that is and how much how much that corner wants to push you wide. You have to brake much earlier than you think, and because you're coming off a chicane, really hard to get the car straight and then brake and get everything done in time to actually make the corner. We're now watching Riddell right behind Nixon. Will he make a move into turn one. He's not going to wait for turn one. He's going to pull alongside down the straight. Has he got enough of an overspeed to get past? Hard to tell from this camera angle. Behind them, you've got Dylan Shepherd and Braden Martin going side by side. Riddell with the inside line, and he's made the move before the first corner. If anything, Connor Nixon might come under pressure from Shepherd behind him. No, he's just managed to defend. Going through the tricky technical section, a short little chicane, followed by a tight 90-degree left-hander. Really easy to get oversteer on exit there and put yourself into the barrier and out of the race. But all the cars that we can see on screen getting through there quite safely. And I'll take a moment now, while there's a little bit of a lull, to introduce my co-commentator and producer for this evening, Sam Chapman, who I dare say is quite busy behind the scenes.
Trying to get everything up and running properly. I don't know why. My computer seems to give up as soon as the race actually starts. It looks alright in practice, and then Liam jumps on for comms, and it all gives up. So... yeah, looking forward to seeing some of these Formula Fords. I've done a few rounds of them, and they are fun once you get the hang of them. But they're a tricky little beast.
They are fun. They're almost an amalgamation of a Skip Barber and a Formula V. For those that are familiar with those cars in the service, Formula V being the entry-level single-seater without wings, very tail happy, very old school, and one of the cars that quite a few of the drivers in the service actually race in real life because it's one of the most affordable forms of motorsport going around. And then the Skip Barber being, of course, very famous because of the Skip Barber Racing School, which is the main racing school in the US that many of the IndyCar talent starts their career in, and they start in those Skip Barbers. But these are Formula Fords. These are a very popular category around the world, including in Australia. And it's really great to see them on racing, providing something a little bit above a beginner level, but still very much an entry-level car. I think many people will find themselves skipping the Formula V and heading straight into the Formula Ford. But none of these drivers are skipping the Formula Ford because it's an awful lot of fun. As we watch Pete Matson, he'll race just about anything that the GSRC has to offer. He's got the track all to himself there. Behind him, there's a bit of a battle raging between Barker and Edwards. Edwards trying to put pressure on Barker, but not quite close enough. Thing is, in these cars, it's so easy to make a mistake because they are so tricky. Very, very little downforce. Good old school mechanical grip that you need to rely on. And that leads to cars that feel a little bit less safe than some of the higher downforce variants of the open seaters. Up at the front, Dylan Shepherd's managed to get past Braden Martin and John Merritt. Connor Nixon's down into fifth, so Connor Nixon's fallen behind those threes, what I should have said. And then Braden Martin and John Merritt looking to go side by side for the chicane. Braden Martin coming out ahead, but John Merritt looked to get the position. Connor Nixon looking to gain some of the ground that he has lost. Currently, Merritt, the fastest man on track. He did a 1 minute 15.45 last lap, which is a lightning pace around here, and quite a bit quicker than those around him by almost half a second. Going side by side into here, fast left-hander. To get through there side by side safely. Can they get negotiate this chicane? It's taking a lot of curb on the inside. Oh, they've touched! They've touched. Dylan Shepherd's been sent round. I think we could see that coming as soon as they're going side by side for the chicane. Oh, be careful. No, that wasn't a very safe rejoin. Just getting a little bit impatient, wanting to get back on track after realising that, you know, the longer you wait, the more you're losing ground, but just not finding a safe spot to do so and taking another poor innocent bystander out of the race. I think with the difficulties we're having, we won't rely on getting any replays for now of any events. So we'll just try and call them as we see them live. Let's have a look at what we've got going on here. So this is Connor Nixon. He's in one hell of a scrap. Jeff Connell, Stuart Ellis, all involved in there. Guy Leach at the head of that field. Guy Leach up into fourth place, having a great race. Up four positions, up one position, started in fifth, up to fourth. Jeff Connell, he started in ninth, up into fifth, so he's having a good race. Shane Wright, the biggest mover in the top 9, though. He's up 7 places. Biggest mover across the field is Pete Matson, who's up 19 places, up to 12th from 31st. So I dare say he's had an eventful few laps at the start of the race. I imagine with having a hand of a few incidents in there and his own skills in avoiding them. A few drivers already out of the race, including Trent Allen, Michael Latta, Joshua Zuno, and Philip Howe, all seem to be out of the race according to my timing screens. This broadcast, I don't believe it's been brought to you by any particular sponsor tonight, but we have a range of sponsors at the GSRC that bring you all of our broadcasts and everything, including things like race control, getting the servers up and running, and just enabling us to put on Motorsport. And those include those companies at the bottom of your screen: Flash Graphics, login systems, waste options, West Orange Motors, Blackout Electrical Solutions, and Astute Finance, Insurance, and Wealth. Anyway, back to the action. Apologize if I missed a sponsor. I think I've got you all. It's all right. I'll do that skit a little bit later on in the night. Here we go. Two cars that look like they might be about to go side by side. No, choosing a bit clever Colin Nixon, deciding not to try and go side by side in the fast left-hander because he knows that's fraught with danger. He's seen danger up ahead, seen cars coming unstuck. That is, of course, what we saw hurt Dylan Shepard, knocking him down from second down into 16th place is where he's rejoined. Colin Nixon instead going alongside here, going to go around the outside to give him the inside for the second part of the chicane. We're getting a little bit of drama. We're going to have to wait to see what happened. Adding to the drama, the unknown.
I opened my browser and that was the result. So, yeah, not quite sure what AMD's been up to with my CPU. But it's yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, it's in Struggle Town. It's like somebody's brain when they first try to learn calculus. It's not a fun time.
Yes.
Just overloaded.
Yes, or my brain while broadcasting.
I've got some of the drivers in the field be much closer to when they first learned calculus, and some might even have that ahead of them, so have fun with that. Others will have learned it so long ago that they've forgotten everything, and they're probably glad that they did. We're now watching Colin Nixon, so he's been slipping down from the front of the field. He started in first place, he's down into 8th now, just not got the pace of the cars around him. Which is unusual with Colin Nixon. He's usually one of the fastest guys in the series that he races in. Mind you, I say that. Still running in the top 10, so he's still pretty quick. Got a few fast guys in here. You know, it's fast grid when Merritt's only in 6th place.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think, new car always mixes things up a little bit too. Some of these guys would have done a hell of a lot more practice than others in the newer vehicle. These have been pretty popular, given they're free and they're a good little car, and it's a pretty good grid tonight actually too. Over 30 in the server, so yeah, good to see. Especially as this one usually isn't broadcast, and it sometimes hits the numbers a little bit.
Yeah, bringing you the broadcast here tonight for the first time because it's attached to the Enduro round of the Supercars, which are coming to you from Miami Homestead. That'll be a 60-minute Enduro, and I think the plan at the moment is to also bring you the last event of the season. So that'll be in another 5 weeks' time because that'll be another endurance for the Supercars. And of course, if we bring you the Supercars, we will bring you the Formula Ford beforehand to turn it into a complete Wednesday night of entertainment as we watch Braden Martin providing the entertainment alongside Shane Wright. Not going to go too wide into that corner. Is he going to go for a move down at the bottom of the hill? Someone's off in the background. Who's that? Is that Glenn Riddell? I think it's Glenn Riddell.
Yes,
falling out of
Glenn Riddell,
second.
yes.
Yeah, started in 2nd place. He's now down into 9th, and I believe he's rejoined the circuit. Just looking at the timing, no, not quite. He's still falling down the order. Just falling behind David Christensen, who's up 13 spots from 22nd into 9th place. Let's have a look what happened here. Is it Glenn Riddell?
There, and there he goes. And that is a broken Formula Ford. It did sort of look like he was trying to come across a little bit, but hard to see from that sort of view.
And even worse, I think that might have been a back marker.
Oh, no. Yeah, sometimes quick guys, they try and get past a back marker with a little bit too much impatience. I don't know if that's the scenario, but I think a few people have been there before where you get impatient and try and get past immediately, and yeah, it costs you.
Either that, or sometimes the back marker does something you're not expecting, like slowing down in a weird place, or
or up the front here. So this is the battle for the lead. I just had a look at how red my screens were getting because it was just about 4 abreast there. And there's a spin. That's Braden Martin and Guy Leach have both gone off the 2 leaders of the race.
Oh, that is gutting, particularly for Guy Leach, who looked to be the innocent party in there. Braden just carrying a little bit too much speed, getting a bit of oversteer mid-corner, and Guy Leach just being collected. Thankfully, Guy Leach has been able to continue sixth. Braden Martin also has been able to continue, but he's far down the order now
Yeah, and
in
this is
eighth
what
place.
we call in the baking industry a rush to quality, as we see Connell and Merritt now in second and third place, ready to chase down Wright. So I'd be a bit nervous in my mirrors if I was Shane, but he's been doing a really good job up the front there.
Oh,
Oh, and
all
that's
over the curb,
Merritt.
did really well not to spin the car, but he's lost a couple of positions as John Merritt there, just going too wide. The car looked like it beached on the curb. Got a heap of oversteer. Don't know how he managed to save that because I thought that was definitely heading towards the inside wall. So he's done really, really well. Now, what we're seeing here is Jeff Connell defending from Stuart Ellis. They are side by side, nothing to choose between them. Stuart Ellis going to tuck in behind here. Is he going to try and set up to get the inside going further down the hill, down the bottom of the hill? No, he's not. He's going to sit behind him. Will he make a move into the chicane that ends the lap? Let's have a look. Not shaping up. Yeah, might wait until the first corner for an opportunity.
Yeah,
Jeff Connell's taking that quite nice though, carrying a lot more speed than Stuart Ellis. As long as he hasn't got a slowdown for going over that curb, I think he'll hold on to that position into the first corner. Although saying that, looks like these cars have a mighty lot of slipstream.
yeah, they absolutely do. It's not quite what the V's are, but nothing really is. But yeah, as well, Nixon in this battle too, just sitting behind these guys. He's seen the fireworks ahead. Maybe he'll just let him go, especially through that chicane going too wide. Has caused me issues a number of times. But they're playing nice for now. This is really the closest battle on track as well. Most of the others have spread out a bit. I did want to go back and have a look at some of the replays, but gee, this is a bit too good to miss at the moment.
It really is. John Merritt was at the back of the group. He's now at the lead of the group after going side by side through the chicane, where you said you've come unstuck a few times, Sam. He's only taken him a handful of corners to get to the lead of this group, which makes you think he might have had the pace to go chase down Shane Wright, but he's not got long to do it, with only one lap after this remaining in the race.
Yeah, 3.5 seconds is a long way to go. And Jeff is really quick in these things as well, so he'll be putting the hammer down. I think John will go. I think Shane's gone. The battle really is with him and Connell, Ellis, and Connor Nixon there.
And you can see in the background of your screen, the white flag is raving, which means this will be the final lap of the race, final lap of the second race, which is the reverse grid top 10. After this, we have another 10-minute race to bring you, which will be with a grid formed by the results of this race. So those that have come unstuck, they will start towards the back. Looks like George Shepherd, who's now 13th, will start in 13th, but at least another night by race around the race where things have come unstuck for him. But the drive where it hasn't come unstuck, but Shane Wright starting in 10th to 9th, so this will be his second win of the night. John Merritt and Jeff Connell, you can see in second, they're both in sixth places. Who will be second, who will be third, we don't know, because Jeff Connell is putting a lot of pressure on John Merritt, doing what we've seen him do a few times now, just sitting behind him through here, but he's not going to have a first corner to have a go, so if he wants to get past, he's going to have to do it at the final chicane that they're heading to now. Only 2 corners remaining of this lap. Who will be second? Who will be third? Will it be Merritt? Will it be Connell? Will they come together and open the door for Stuart Ellis and Con Nixon to take the podium? No, they're going to be very, very... completely lost the word I was going for there. Behave themselves through there, and they're going to come home as they were. Shane Wright takes a dominant victory. John Merritt in second. Jeff Connell in third. Stuart Ellis in fourth. Connor Nixon in fifth. And then Guy Leach, after being caught up in an instant, will come home in sixth place. Matthew Brunt takes seventh, and then David Christiansen up 14 spots from 22nd to 8th. Looks like he will secure the 8th place because he's got 8 seconds to the car behind, which is Braden Martin. Other big movers are Sean Roos, who's up 8 places. He'll take home 10th, unless he can turn it into 9th, because they are side by side, Martin and Reese, as they're about to cross the line, and Martin takes it by half a second over Sean Reese. Pete Matson, he's up 20 positions into 11th spot. He'll be absolutely delighted with that. Dylan Shepherd, we saw him in the fight for the lead at the beginning. He finishes in 12th. Look for him to come through the field next race. Henderson's up 8 places into 13th. Wayne Edwards up 9 places into 14th. John Baldwin, he's up 10 places into 15th. And Ben Woods hasn't crossed the line yet, but he is guaranteed 16th place and up 12 places from where he started. Oh, well, I'm glad we caught that action, Sam. That was a thrill a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad we got at least the most of it. So yeah, hopefully the computer will hold together for the next bit. But that was great racing. I'm glad we're able to make it for part of the Formula Fords this season.
Yeah, we'll have another 5 weeks to get it right before the next stream.
Another 5 weeks for me to tut my CPU into submission.
Well, saying that, are you doing are you going to be producing the Endurance Championship in a couple of weeks' time?
That's the plan. So, yeah, no. So, remind me, did we really have any of those problems in the last race? Liam, I don't
No,
think we
the
did.
grid was a bit smaller than this.
It was. Yeah, it was. So it was probably about. Oh, yeah, it was. It was a few less cars. So, yeah, maybe it is just the number of cars that are causing it. But as well, let's get up the results, and even look at the grid for the final. Let's look at the results for race 1 actually, because we didn't get to show them.
Yes, that'd be good. So these are the results from race 1, which occurred before we were able to start the broadcast. Shane Wright taking the win with Jeff Connell in second, John Merritt in third, and Brett Barker in fourth, less than a second separating the top four. So good thing if you're fourth and you've lost 8 points for the sake of 7/10 of a second. That's one hell of a race. Sad we missed that one. And then behind them, another really tight battle. Braden Martin, Guy Leach, and Dylan Shepherd separated by less than a second for 5th, 6th, and 7th place. And we're about to bring you the feature race. And as we do, let's look at the result from the last race and effectively the grid for this race. Shane Wright will take pole position after winning race 2, with Merritt in second and Connell in third. Not much to choose between them. Stuart S will be in fourth, Connor Nixon in fifth, Guy Leach in sixth, Matthew Brunt in seventh, Christensen and Martin will be in eighth and ninth, and then Sean Rees will round out the top 10. Behind them, you got Matson and Shepherd on row 6. And these are the championship points before the start of this round. Brendan Martin in the lead of the championship with Jeff Connell in second and Brett Barker in third, and Sean Doyle and Ben Mars in fourth and fifth. I dare say John Merritt will be moving up that leaderboard, giving his results so far tonight. And I haven't seen Adam Lewis or Ben Miles troubling the top of the time sheets here tonight. Brandon Martin's gone fairly decently, as has Jeff Connell. So I believe that battle at the top will still be on. I'm not sure where Shane Wright fits into this. Don't see his name in there. So this might be one of his first times in the series, or we might see his name leap up the leaderboard once drop rounds are taken into account. And they're about to start the grid for the next race, but I don't see any cars.
That's because there
they are.
I was sitting at the finish line and not the start line, apparently.
Right, here we go. Side by side into the first corner, Shane Wright tried to take the lead, trying to hold the lead from John Merritt. John Merritt desperate to get ahead because he knows how fast Shane Wright showed how fast he was at the end of the last race, unable to wheel him in, so he'll be wanting to get ahead and hold him up as much as he can rather than let him get away. Behind him, Jeff Connell and Connor Nixon in third and fourth. Connor Nixon's made a position. He's up into fourth spot. Quite a bit of movement further down the field. Glenn Riddell, he's up 5 spots from 27th to 22nd. So look, looks like John Merritt and Jeff Connell are going to go side by side. They're heading towards the fast left-hander. Are they going to be brave? No, Jeff Connell's going to get ahead before the left-hander, and John Merritt's going to have to sit behind, and this is going to let Shane Wright get away at the front of the field if he can keep it clean, and Connell and Merritt start battling. But Connell looks like he's got a lot of pace here already. Oh, that's a car around in the background. I think that's Kevin Henderson going around. Yes, he's dropping down the order, as is Wayne Edwards. So I wonder if the two of them have come together at the bottom of the screen, or if Wayne Edwards has come unstuck trying to avoid Kevin Henderson. Here watching John Merritt, Jeff Connell and Shane Wright in a freeway fight for the lead. Merritt at the back of this pack. He's going to get a mega slipstream going into turn 1. Not setting up for a move though. He's going to sit to the outside and make sure he takes the racing line. Connell is going to take a slightly defensive line, but not too much because he knows there's not really much of an overtaking spot. Behind them, Guy Leach and Connor Nixon are swapping positions into turn 1. Braden Martin, Dylan Shepherd's up 4 places from 12th to 8th. Look for him to try and get into this lead battle as quick as he can because he showed tremendous pace in race 2. Looks like they're going to go 3 wide in the background there. Right, here we go. Shane Wright, he leads Jeff Connell. Will Jeff Connell make a move? He's not afraid to go side by side here. We've seen him do it before. No! Ooh, thought John Merritt was going to pop out there, but decided not to. Have you ever tried to go side by side through there, Sam?
I've tried it all around Sandown. It's been with limited success sometimes. But I think, I've tried to go side by side. I've also encountered a car that was horizontal through there at one point, which was not a great outcome for anyone involved.
No. Just going to call out Guy Leach and Dylan Shepherd. That was a smoke we saw in the background while Sam was talking. They've both fallen down the order.
And jumped to pitch.
Yeah, they've collapsed faster than someone has taken a heavy punch from Mike Tyson. Absolutely. And now we're watching Jeff Connell in the lead of the race. So Shane Wright has dropped from the lead down into third spot. Not sure if he made a mistake or if Connell just managed to get past him and John Merritt followed him through. And Stuart Ellis now joining the scoot to make it a four-way fight. Some big moves a bit further down the field. Brett Barker up 13, Glenn Riddell up 12, Philip Howe up 14, Trent Allen up 14th. Shows you how many cars have come unstuck in this field. A bunch of cars already retiring from this race or having effectively retired. Including Joshua Zuno, Guy Leach, Matt Smitke, Dylan Shepherd, Adam Johnson, Robert McGrath, Phil King, Jordan Hooper, Kevin Henderson, all having troubles early in the race and falling down the field. As this battle for first rages on. Not a long race, only 15 minutes. That's not going to be long. It's going to be about 10 laps in length. So there's no point holding back. If you want to get to the front, you've got to do it. You've got to do it because you're not going to have that many opportunities, particularly around a track like Sandown, where it can be difficult to overtake unless the car ahead of you makes some sort of mistake, goes wide, doesn't carry enough speed, etc. Just saw a couple of cars coming out of the pit lane there in the background, so they could cause a bit of havoc with some of the cars around them, particularly if they don't have the pace. So John Merritt putting in the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 15.3. His lead is up to half a second. Thing is, with these cars are so much slipstream, it's going to be really hard to build a commanding lead at any point unless the cars behind you are battling and basically ruining the effect of that slipstream from between themselves by battling in the corners and giving up the speed that they had gained on the straight. As evidenced by there, John Merritt had a lead of about 0.2 before they got to that part of the track. But however, after the end of that long straight, it was down to 0.2 of a second. So almost half a second worth of slipstream there, which means as long as you just stay sensible and stay roughly on the same pace, you can actually be a bit slower in the car in front and they are not going to be able to get away because you get so much free lap time as long as you do not battle. But at some point, Shane Wright, if he wants to get to lead, he's going to have to battle with Jeff Connell. He's going to have to pick his moment, try and make it clean so that the pair of them don't lose time to John Merritt. Because we have seen it done because John Merritt was in third place at one point, so he's managed to do that, play that game perfectly and get to the front. And now he's just trying to hold on to his lead for the first time tonight. Here we're watching Glenn Riddell. He's one of the fastest guys on the circuit. However, he had trouble in the last race and is now trying to recover from a low grid spot. That's one extra spot for him. So that puts him up into 12th place. Started in 27th, already up into 12th after 5 laps. We're now going to go 3 wide for the lead. 2 wide. 2 wide still. Connell and Wright going side by side through the fast left-hander. They get through clean and they shuffle it into a single file. Merritt looking dangerous here. Thought he was going to throw up the inside. Decides not to. He's gone from third down to first in one straight. Just in one straight. Looked like he almost went into the back of Jeff Connell there. But I think there might have been a little bit of a gap between them. If they did touch, it didn't matter. Nothing came of it. Shane Wright has a little bit of the lead. He's got through that complex very, very quick. Jeff Connell using all and then some getting all up over the curb on the final corner. Just trying to hold off John Merritt because he knows John Merritt's going to get the slipstream down this long straight. Who are you betting on, Sam? Who's going to win this battle?
Oh, mate, it's a tight one. Whoever can keep their nose clean as well. They've been racing very high intensity for a period of time. Now, there's some quick guys that know how to do that in this group. But, yeah, I've been very impressed by Wright tonight. You know, being able to hold this and Ellis, you know, with John and Jeff. Yeah, I think placing a bet, it's a bit of a lottery at the moment, Liam.
Yeah, it certainly is. You'd certainly back maybe the experience and merit to see him through, but he's not in pole position at the moment, being in third place with half the race gone, only 7.5 minutes ish remaining. So we're going to get about another 6 laps of racing here tonight. So look for it to be a 12, maybe 13 lap race, depending on the pace that they go and whether there's any crashes. We're now watching the battle for fifth place. This is Brett Barker in sixth. He's the blue car. Ahead of him is Pete Matson, who's up 6 places from 11th into 5th. And then behind him, you've got Matthew Brunt. I believe Matson and Brunt on the same team, running very similar liveries. Maybe wrong about that. Have to ask them afterwards. Brett Barker looking to make a move here. He's up 18. Will he turn it into 19 at corner 1? He goes side by side. He's going to have the inside line. That should be just about move done. But see how Pete Matson's not going wide. He's holding him to the inside, making him compromise his line. And he's going to try and go around the outside. I thought they were going to touch there. But they got through, but they're inviting Matthew Brunt into the party. And Pete Matson holds position. Matthew Brunt unable to get past Brett Barker, but it looked like he wanted to. Oh, Pete Matson got a whole load of oversteer on the exit of the corner. Probably got onto the curb, got a bit too much of it. Tried to put him into the wall, managed to hold on to it, but it's cost him 3 positions with Brunt, Barker, and Adam Maverick all going through the way. Adam Lavis, I should say. Just a habit of reading the names on the screen.
Anchorman.
Will he make a move here? Looks. Say that again. Sorry, Sam.
Anchorman over here.
Yes, yeah. Adam Lavis, of course, responsible for many of the broadcasts that we have here at the GSRC. So a name you would have heard a lot. It's Brett Barker spinning.
That's disappointing. He was up 18, 19 spots at that point. That's a killer for him. Good to see him actually wait to get back on the track. Because these things, when they take a crash, it's not often they survive it. As well, look at all this. There's Pulse boys all over the place tonight. With Baker, Rees, this is the fight for 8th. But yeah, look, all the way back, there's little battle packs, 2s and 3s that have formed.
Yeah, the field's saying much more compressed this race compared to last. I think some of the big incidents last race just cut up too many cars and separate out the pack, whereas this race, there seems to be battle packs all up and down the field, which is lovely to see. None more so than at the front, where Shine Wright, John Merritt, Jeff Collins, Stuart Ellis are still separated by less than half a second between the 4 of them.
Yeah, let's have a quick look through some replays of some accidents. There's been a few. So we'll start with, unfortunately for Hendo, just come around here, and that, yeah, it's come across, and that back wheel's not like that. It's Wayne Edwards, and I think this might be the same incident.
The same incident. So Wayne Edwards shapes up the inside,
and then goes off. And probably looks like he might be trying to redress, actually, which is good sportsmanship. We love to see that.
Yeah, I believe he is.
We've got Schmidtke.
Just getting to the inside of Adam Lavis.
Yeah.
It's just a small misjudgment.
Yeah.
Trying to go side by side.
Easy to do when you're 3 wide, right? Once again, so these crashes we're mostly seeing are literally 3 wide. Oh, that's unfortunate. Such a high speed area and so difficult to slow down once a car's around in front of you.
Yeah, it makes you wonder who's making it 3 wide, because generally 3 wide is not a great idea.
Yeah, and then Schmidtke, who had trouble earlier.
So
not his race tonight, unfortunately for him.
No.
She looks like, unfortunately for Adam Johnson, he's had a few incidents. Or maybe this is part of one in the same. But as well, once you go round...
Oh, no!
Oh, no. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it's not ideal.
Yeah, it's not. It's one thing to go off track, but then to... It's so easy to do, though, right? You're trying to get back on the track, off the grass. You've got no traction control to help you. These cars aren't built to run on the grass, obviously. And he's just lit the rear tyres up, trying to get back on. I think actually trying to get over to the far side to get out of Hendo's way, and instead of just spun him, and not much Hendo could do there to try and avoid him.
These tyres do overheat as well. This is Pete Matson, who was up in 6th place. and went around on the outside there. I didn't see if there was any contact. Just have another quick look from the top.
Yeah, we'll have to get a different view. It's a weird spin, so you can definitely imagine there being contact. This
it's not a great shot
not help.
review. There you go. Yeah, no, it's not.
No,
done it.
no contact.
Okay.
Just less grip around the outside, trying to carry a bit too much speed, and looped it round.
There has
That's a
been a
shame
couple
for-
of other accidents. It's actually been a pretty fiery race, but this battle for the lead is it's almost
Fires.
unchanged since when we last checked. Wright, Merritt, Connell, Ellis, all within a second of each other.
And look who that is. Just that's a back marker. I thought there was a fifth car getting into the fight then, and then I looked at the screen and actually fifth place is Adam Lavis, who's up 13 spots, but 13 seconds behind this group, so he's not going to be making this a five-car fight.
Made a
John Merrick
thing ahead. Look at that. It's 13 seconds in a 15-minute race. It's incredible. These guys. They must have been working together. They haven't had an accident, so they've clearly been smart enough. Touch wood.
Lavis and Riddell have come from the back of the field as well. Lavis coming from 18th place and Riddell coming from 27th.
Yeah.
So they've
wow.
Yeah, so even just accounting
Shows
for
the
a bit of
attrition,
the attrition and a bit of the how the field separates in those early laps, that accounts for a lot of those 13 seconds, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
So what they've stopped playing nice and taking the safeties off, haven't they? Multiple lead changes this lap already, with Merritt taking the lead at the first corner and now Shane Wright taking it back. They're realising that it's about time to pull the plug, because there's only going to be one, maybe 2 laps after this, depending on how our friend in race control is feeling or whether he decides to wave the white flag at the end of this lap. I'm not quite as good as Zach with the Zaculations. Not quite as up to date with how it all how the calculation is done for when we get an extra lap. Is that a white flag? I see it is. It's a white flag. This is the final lap of the race. Wright leads from Merritt, from Connell, from Ellis. All of them in the battle for the lead. Who will take it at the end of this lap? Merritt shapes up on the inside. He's going to go for it. Oh, he's got touch. He's got hit from Connell and behind. And Connell's been cleared, taken out by Merritt. Oh, talk about reaping what you sow, though. So Connell there looked like he got into the back of Merritt, and then Merritt sent spinning, hit Connell. Connell's been able to keep going, though. His last 1.5 seconds to Shane Wright. So Shane Wright in pole position for the victory here. 1.7 seconds ahead of Connell. Merritt's still in third place. Don't know what happened to Stuart Ellis. So unless it was Stuart Ellis that got hit, because Ellis is down in fourth place.
We'll have to have a look back at that in a sec, but what a night from Shane Wright. These last 2 victories, what an excellent showing with some really, really tough competition. Connell's still 2 seconds behind, so as long as he holds this together, he'll take this home. This has really split up that front pack. Now there's a good 3 seconds between each of them. But I was so far ahead of Maverick behind, Lavis behind, that there's not much happening. Although Connell's had a problem.
Has he, or has Merritt just been able to make an overtake?
Wow, Merritt looked like
Imagine
he
there
was
was a couple
3
seconds
seconds
between them.
behind. So,
Yeah. He might have addressed it.
Unless he lost all his pace.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look back at that. He might just have addressed it because he did cause that incident at the first corner, I think.
Okay, let's have a look.
All right, let's see what happened here. Yeah, he's just addressed it. Good on him.
Good to see. Good to see. There is race control, I think, in tonight. I think Dan Laundy is in there, which is always handy. We love to have live race control, so thank you to him.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dean. The club put a call out for more volunteers for race control not long ago, and we got a fantastic response. And I believe there's 5 or 6 people in conversations with the community to start performing race control duties.
Yeah, so he's just got a touch at the back there. Oh, no.
I think that's just getting caught out by the slipstream, which is really easy to do. Maybe losing his braking mark a little bit to the cars ahead. And I think Stuart Ellis had his own separate incident back there.
Potentially.
Maybe,
I mean, they were lucky not to get damaged there, I'll tell you.
Let's look at that again and let's see if we can focus on what happened to Stuart Ellis.
Okay.
Whether he got touched or whether there was a bit of a sympathy spin.
So this is Ellis.
So Stuart Ellis is a little bit back, so he's waiting to see the...
And then... Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
no,
he has a
just
sympathy spin trying to avoid.
Yeah, he's just asked a little bit too much of those rears trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
But,
So
did a good job not to, once again, damage a car, though. So...
So that's a classic, because of course you set your entry speed based on what you think your angle for the corner is going to be, and then there's an instant ahead of you, and all of a sudden you have to tighten that angle, and you just hope that you've left enough of a in the tank to be able to go a little bit tighter, and that time just not enough in the tank, and unable to run that turn line without exceeding the amount of grip in the tires.
Okay. So
Some great racing until that final lap, though.
Well, let's get up the results, actually. That's probably what we want to see, isn't it?
Shane Wright with the triple victory. Don't need to see the results for that one. He's had an absolutely stellar round. Kept it clean and took 3 deserving victories. Merritt takes home second place. Connell redressing on the final lap after an incident at the start of that lap. Connell takes home the final spot on the podium. We'll have to wait and see whether race control feel like redressing was enough, or whether they'll want to give him a penalty that would drop him off the podium. Stuart Ellis is in 4th place. Adam Lavis up a heap of spots to get into 5th, but not as many as Glenn Riddell, who had an absolutely stellar race, coming from 27th all the way to 6th place. Matthew Brunt is then in 7th with Tony Baker in 8th spot. He's up 11th spot, so he's also had a fantastic race. Sean Rees up into 9th, and then Trent Allen up 21 spots from 31st into 10th spot. I dare say if you told him he'd get a top 10 finish at the start of that race, he would have absolutely bitten your fingers off. We've then got John Baldwin in 11th place, Brett Barker in 12th place, Ben Woods in 13th, Greg Padgett in 14th, Wayne Edwards in 15th, Philip Howe in 16th, up 14 spots, Jonathan Hooper in 17th, Michael Adder in 18th, Brendan Soper in 19th, and then Phil King in 20th, and I believe below that we get into cars that had multiple incidents. Just judging off my timing screen.
Absolutely. We haven't had anyone jump into the comms box as of yet. So I think what we might do, Liam, is take a bit of a break before we do Supercars. I'm going to madly do some tech support and see if I can work out what is going on here with the broadcast and the computer. I'm also seeing apparently there's no car sounds, and there's car sounds on mine, so I'm not sure what's going on there. We'll have to work through it.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see everyone back. That race starts at 9 o'clock, so we'll be back on broadcast about 8:50, 8:55.
Until then, we'd like to thank the sponsors for the GSRC that are going across the bottom and top of your screen. Astute Finance Insurance and Wealth, Login Systems, Waste Options, Flash Graphics, Blackout Electrical Solutions, Fisher Door Lawyers, and West Orange Motors. And Waste Options, I cannot remember if I said them already. Thank you for allowing us to put on this broadcast. We appreciate your support of the GSRC. We will see you all for the endurance race from Miami Homestead, the Supercars, in about half an hour's time. Until then, enjoy your small break.
flipped it in a double. Started out with half and I flipped it in a double.
Said time again, we gotta go. Take one, then I dash away from Popo.
Yeah.
Snakes around my grass, they want my dodo. But I keep a 40, they don't know, no. Got the Henny, you get Coco. Smoke on Reggie, that's a no-no. Driving slow-mo in the photo. Bitches ready for them photos.
I see all the things on my mind, yeah. Stacking money like 365. Cause this shit is real. Cause this shit is real. Cause this shit is real.
Don't say you get money, boy, you been broke. Digit dash up in my circle, you can roll. Only cash up in my vision and the south. Now I'm smashing on the model cause I bought.
Hey,
Cause there's cream, I'ma take the team. We gon' be hot like steam. I just got the dreams, I know what you mean. It's all funny to the few, I get 50 to my G.
hey. Cause this shit is real. Cause this shit is real.
fighter.
Lakey inspired. Fight.
half and I flipped it in a double. Started out with half and I flipped it in a double.
Said time again, we gotta go. Take one, then I dash away from pole.
Yeah.
Snakes around my grass, they want my dough. But I keep a 40, they don't know. Got the Henny, you get cold. Smoke on Reggie, that's a no. Driving slow-mo in the photo. Bitches ready for them photos.
There's a lot of things on my mind, yeah. Stacking money like 365. Cause this shit is real. Cause this shit is real. Cause this shit is real.
Don't say you get money, boy, you been broke. Digit dash up in my circle, you can roll. Only cash up in my vision and the south. Now I'm smashing on the model cause I bought.
Hey,
Cause there's cream, I'ma take the team. We gon' be hot like steam. I just got the dreams, I know what you mean. It's all funny to the feet, I get 50 to my G.
hey. Cause this shit is real. Cause this shit is real.
fighter. Lakey inspired. Fight.
Welcome back, everybody, for the main event, the Pièce de la Résistance, the one you've been waiting for. 1 hour of Miami Homestead in the Supercars, that Australian favourite. On pole is David Kirby, and alongside him is Robbie Bradbury. On the second row, you've got Andrew Dutch and Damien Cross. Third row is Harris and Coleman, with Norris and Merritt lining up behind them. Then Pavlovich and Smitke make up the top 10. Behind them on this packed field, we have Foster and Maverick on row 6, with Riddell and Christensen behind them. Brewer is in 15th with Fitzpatrick on 16th. Baker is in 17th with Van Ryn in 18th. Tice in 19th, and then Greg Paget in 20th. Outside of the top 20, we have Wood, Arnott, Riddell, Ladder, Woods, and Newland at the back of the field. Except for, I believe there might be one more car. Unless it hasn't taken the field, which would be Pete Matson, who's showing up on my timing screen as 27th.
The last car there, so that's we'll leave it for now, as these guys have another 20 seconds before this 60-minute mini enduro starts. So great circuit for it. Good to see these cars out again. Good to see the Holdens back out as well. Fingers crossed my computer holds up. We reckon we've come to the conclusion that it's all getting too hot, and the laptop wasn't really built for it, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, had temperatures running towards the 90 degrees, which is a little bit higher than I think we would like. The lights are on and they're off. There's a slow car in the middle there, I'm not sure who that is. I think it might be Adam Lavis, but I could be wrong there. Going side by side for the first corner. Let's have a look at them as they approach corner 2. Not quite side by side. David Kirby looking to get to the inside now, though, into corner 3. He's going to hold the inside line. Andrew Dutch trying and hold the outside so he gets the inside for the next corner. Will Kirby be able to sweep all the way around? They're still side by side. This is not over yet, although I think Kirby's just going to pull ahead through this straight, with Bradbury looking to get involved behind them. Down further in the pack, they're going side by side for 7th, 6th, 5th and 6th place. Coleman and Cross swapping positions down that straight. Behind them, Foster's up 2 positions, as is Riddell, up 2 positions into 11th place. Fitzpatrick is up 2 places as well. Starting to form a single line now. These Supercars quite wide, hard to go side by side for too long as they approach this tight hairpin. So you got Andrew Dutch in the right and blue car, crossing that line as much as he dares without getting a slowdown. David Kirby is in the black and red car out front. And then Robert Bradbury is in the red and white car behind.
Yeah, as well, I'd like to thank the commenters from their advice. As we have a car off the track as well, that would be Bradbury, who's dropping down the order there, down to 5th now. But yes, thank you to the commenters. They're saying that I've still got the music going. I turned it off in my headphones because it was annoying me over the break while I was trying to fix stuff. And yeah, did forget it was going, so thanks for that.
We are getting your voice cutting in and out a little bit as well.
Excellent.
I think you're reaching the volume limit and it's cutting you out.
Okay. I'm too loud and too excited.
As you should be when you're watching Supercars go around Homestead, Miami, and we're in for it for another 58 minutes by my count, which is brilliant. First time we're bringing you the Supercars this season, hoping to bring you them again for the final round of the season, unless we can find a sponsor, in which case we'll bring you all of the remaining rounds. So if you are taking part in the V8 series, or you just want to see more V8s on your screens, then please do get in touch with the committee as we watch John Merritt going side by side with Damien Cross. He'll be sick and tired of going side by side with people by the end of this race. I don't think I've seen him in a race not in a 2 or 3 car battle pack. Now watching Riddell, he's another one who's been busy this evening. Watched him having a few adventures in the Formula Fords earlier on, and he's now trying to go side by side with Andrew Dutch. Andrew Dutch was in the fight for the lead earlier, so he's fallen down the order at some point. And it's coming under attack from Riddell and Pavlovich behind him. There's a car on the inside there. That looks like that is...
Hayden Norris, I believe, is dropping down the order. So whether that...
I think you might be right.
It looked like a slowdown, didn't it?
It did look like a slowdown.
I actually only purchased this track a couple of hours ago, so I...
Oh, there goes Riddell. He's around. No. Just got the back end out of shape. Thankfully, he's just about off the racing line, so I thought I'd be able to sneak in below him. Oh, typical. As soon as he starts reverse, somebody tries to go around the outside.
Yeah, always the way.
Always the way. Always got to wait for all the cars to get through, because it might not take the route you think they're going to take. And that's put Riddell all the way down into 21st position, so he's going to have a lot of work in front of him if he wants to get back up into the high-scoring places. Thank plenty of time to do it. Behind him, who was that? Shane Newman's getting all out of shape approaching that corner, just hitting the brakes too hard. Looked like he locked his rear wheels and did well to keep the back end relatively pointing in a straight line and get it stopped and round the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And these cars are the sort of ones where you want a good set of pedals because pretty easy to lock up the brakes. I remember trying to use them and yeah, a bit of a struggle when you're first starting out on little cheapy pedals.
They certainly are. I think they're one of the harder cars on iRacing just because there's so much weight behind them.
Yeah, lots of weight, lots of power as well, not particularly wide wheels, not a huge amount of downforce. I was actually watching a video today talking about the Supercar being the hardest race car to drive. I think it was a Driver 61 video.
Yeah, they're great. They are, I highly recommend watching Driver 61's videos if you get the chance. And now as we watch Adam Lavis go wide and he's going to lose position.
Oh, I switched away from it right when it was getting spicy.
Right, where it's getting spicy. I think it might get spicy here because that definitely looked like a car shaping up on the inside. No, not close enough. That was Matt Smitke. He's had a successful week so far. Managed to get his first win in the GT3 AM series, which he was pretty happy about.
Yeah, Schmidtke's been a real performer this season. Done really well in the production cars this year as well. So yeah, good to see.
You're watching Andrew Dutch go down the inside of Mark Foster there and take the position. So that'll put Andrew Dutch up into 7th place.
And with commentator cursed him, I think. That Schmidtke dropping down the order. Oh, goodness me. I'm sorry, mate.
Van Ryn dropping down as well. Yeah, apologies, Matt. We owe you a beer for that one, I think.
I think so. So
Is he old enough for a beer? He's one of the old...
Gee, I'm not sure. Oh, goodness.
Oh, there goes Andrew Dutch as well. Andrew Dutch has hit the inside wall.
Andrew Dutch has started right up the top of the order. He is right up the top of the order in the standings as well. If I can get those out for you.
That would be excellent. While he does that, we'll take a moment to... here we go. So yeah, Andrew Dutch top of the standings on 219 points with Robbie Bradbury behind him. Bradbury currently in 4th place and ahead of Dutch. We've then got Alan Dawson in 3rd place. Dawson, I can't see in the field, so he looks like he's taking a miss this round. With then got Coleman and Pavlovich. Pavlovich is in 9th place and Coleman's in 2nd place.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is actually a class series as well. So that's the standings for the elite class. The development series is led by Adam Lavis by quite a margin, mind you. I'm not sure how he's snuck his way into the development series, but he actually does the numbers. So, yeah, maybe much to think about there, maybe, Adam. With Brendan Van Ryn following him, 53 points behind. Joe Baldwin, Schmidtke and Carew, the top 5 there. Good to see lots of Holdens there. Other than the fake news Ford Mustangs.
Just showing your colours there, I believe, Sam.
Absolutely. Mate, we're Adelaide boys at heart.
This is true. The old Holden factory in Elizabeth, no longer there, sadly.
Exactly. Thank our friend Joe Hockey for that. Anyway, move on before we go into a different class of podcasting.
Yeah, let's not fall down the political track. We've done that before, and I know me and you can talk about that for quite a while. So we'll avoid that here tonight, and we'll focus on Vroom Vroom race cars, which we're watching to here in a bit of a battle. Robbie Bradbury getting ahead of Tim Harris. So Robbie Bradbury's in 3rd.
Sorry, Merritt was just... Oh, God, look at that car. That is... Oh, that's looking grim. That's looking like it's been through doing donuts around the back office of Elizabeth somewhere, and it's gone askew with a red P plate. That is looking grim.
That is a common sight around the suburbs of Elizabeth. For those of you not South Australian like myself and Sam,
Yeah.
it's yes, it has a bit of a reputation
Yep.
for cars that are missing bits of bodywork. Cars, houses, people, anything really.
Yeah, so, well, these guys are bracing really close here. I'm not sure if you have any insight on how long these guys are going to go without a pit stop.
Just
Liam?
lost you there. Lost you there for the question I had. Not sure if you got any insight on, and you cut out.
Oh, that's good. I was not sure if you got any insight on the pit stop sequence for these guys. Do you reckon? I've not raced these supercars, at least in quite a long time, so I'm not quite sure.
It's not a car that I can drive around the track for enough laps without spinning to get a handle on what the what the fuel system is. It is not a car that merges well with my driving style.
Yeah.
So no, it's going to be a complete mystery, which is all the more fun for us to find out as we go through the night. Only 2 cars pit so far, and that's David Christensen and Dave Riddell in 20th and 21st spot, and I have to believe that's not scheduled. What I do know is the cars have got a 50% fuel limit.
Yeah, okay. I just saw that I think it was Rundle and Tice had an incident that's under investigation too. So let's see Race Control earning their keep. I think they will tonight, and they would have in the Formula Fords, I'd imagine as well.
So we're just watching here on screen David Kirby, who is your leader of this race. He fought off a couple of early attacks, and has got David Coleman behind him by about half a second, so certainly not a comfortable lead. But Coleman, from what we've seen, not looking to put the move on quite yet. I do wonder if there'll be any fuel saving going on. As we've seen often in the GT3 class, it's good to sit behind the car if you can, rather than be that lead car. Just take that fuel saving and then sort of make the leap during the pit stop phase, and use your that bit of extra fuel that you save to reduce your pit stop, come out ahead, and then take the win from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I do wonder whether
These guys have put almost 4 seconds on Bradbury behind as well, given all the chaos early on. So good performance by these two. They'll be pretty happy with this start. And let's see if these 2 Holdens can hold it together against the 4 Fords behind them. As we see, this is Dutch and Riddell. Riddell on the outside here. Dutch trying to take that inside. Very wide track. Hard to really know where the track actually ends there, given in America they sort of just ignore the painted lines and curbs and just sort of drive wherever there's not grass.
I'll tell you what, you see your car on the inside doing that, then you do that the next lap, don't you, though? Because he would have gained a fair chunk of time just cutting out that bit of corner.
Yeah, you'd imagine so, unless it unsettles the car through there. It's it seems like a fairly tricky circuit, and being American, it's probably bumpy as well. They don't seem to. I don't know if their steamrollers aren't up to scratch or what, but their road management does seem to be limited on their racetracks.
Don't you love a bumpy circuit, though? That's one of the great things about Belle Isle. It's so bumpy. It's such an absolute physical event. Even in the sim, you can feel how physical it is compared to the smoother racetracks. It's actually insane how bumpy that track is, and it makes it so much fun. You can really feel the tires as they go over the bumps and where you're getting grip and where you're not. It's a wonderful experience. It's definitely one of my favorite tracks on the circuit, as are some of the other American tracks, because like you said, the bumps just add character for me.
Yeah, it absolutely does. You've just got to have full trust in your ability and in the vehicle as well, and have those quick reactions. Because otherwise, as well, with something like Below, you just end up straight in the wall too. So, it can go wrong very, very quickly. But these guys, there's been a couple of accidents, but nothing absurd. Actually, that's probably a good segue. Let's have a look back into some of the replays of accidents from the start.
But you're cutting in and out again, Sam. But I believe what Sam was trying to say is that we're going to go and have a look at replays of some of the incidents we've seen so far in this race. So look, this is Glenn Riddell.
Oh.
Losing the rears under braking.
Yeah.
So we did see that one live.
It did.
And then he's about to reverse just as a car tries to go around the outside.
This, I think, will be Van Ryn and Baker, potentially. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, okay. So he's just sort of locked up there. He's actually done a pretty good job to keep that where it was and just sort of stop the car, to be honest. That's not that easy to do once that starts sliding.
Yeah, he's made it about as predictable as he could. Just eyes a bit bigger than his...
As well,
than
that's
his,
a 10-second penalty to Rundo for contact with Adam Tice in lap 5 as well. So yeah, so that's that change in gradient there. I reckon taking him out, he's just gone in on a bit of a wrong angle with a bit too much gas. Okay, been a few off tracks as well. See what happened to Adam Tice. This might be his incident. Oh, this is already deep in him being off the track, unfortunately.
Let's have a look how that started.
Okay.
Adam Tice representing the Boomers boys who always have... yeah.
Yeah, he just got
That explains
bodied.
the penalty.
That is... Yeah, you could see what he was trying to do, you know... Rundle just sort of mucked up his braking and went, I've got to try and avoid the car ahead, and has taken that inside line, and right there is poor old Adam Tice, who would never seen it coming, really.
I've never known... There's no other sport like motorsport where you can do everything right and somebody else mucking up just completely takes you out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's unique in a number of respects. I find it interesting, the aspect that drivers sort of... so Merritt going a bit hot there too. Those Pulse guys having a few troubles there tonight.
Yeah, unusual to see Paul struggling so much. They're usually pretty strong in everything they're racing, so interesting to see them struggling on this track. Mind you, it's not a track that we see very often, so it could just be a bit of lack of familiarity that we're seeing play out.
Oh, yeah, potentially. Dutch
See, now
going
to
deep
judge.
in there as well.
Yeah.
Interesting to see from Dutch because, he is leading this championship. But we've seen... Oh, gosh.
And then spinning as he... He's done well to get out of the wall in the end.
He's having a nightmare run at the moment, isn't he? So he's in his 11th at the moment, which could be a lot worse given everything going on.
Makes you wonder if he's driving a little bit frustrated at the moment after that early mistake, trying to find time to make up for it and get back into that lead fight and just pushing a little bit too hard. I was watching Van... Yeah. We're going to see a few of those tonight, I think. These cars are so difficult to control. As Sam said, they're regarded as one of the hardest cars in iRacing. And you can see why they're heavy. They're difficult to brake. It's easy to lock your brakes up. You have to brake quite early because they just take a while to slow down. They got a lot of power, so it's easy to get... You basically got frets at every part of the corner. You can get it wrong on entry with your brakes. You can get it wrong on entry carrying too much speed in your spin. You can carry a little bit of too much throttle mid-corner and you can spin. If you go too deep on the brakes, you spin. If you get on the throttle too early on the exit of the corner, you spin. It's one of those cars where at no point in any corner phase are you safe from a mistake. It's not like other cars where the GT3's got traction control, so they're quite hard to spin on entry. Not like the open wheelers where you got so much downforce that again they're fairly hard to spin on entry, hard to carry too much speed. If you're going to spin, you generally spin them on the exit because you like the rear tires. These cars, they are heavy. They have some downforce, but not that much. Every corner and every part of every corner is a danger zone, and we are seeing that playing out here tonight with the amount of mistakes we are seeing for some of the fastest drivers in the GSRC.
Yeah.
It is nice to see the GSRC throwing its hand into the arena in terms of Supercars championships in Australia, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, just you saw that there. He was completely out of the corner there, Brett, and so easy to just give it a bit too much throttle and straight into the wall. They're a beast to drive these things, which is the reason I'm here talking to you and not out in the sim.
Yes, yeah, definitely. I think this is the right side of the commentary racing fence to be on tonight because it's looking very, very tricky out there. Lots of cars having to make unscheduled stops to get repairs. Lots of cars just driving around wounded, and very few have made it through this race unscathed. Those that have, Coleman and Kirby are the standouts. They're first and second. Robbie Bradbury, he's in third place, and then Tim Harris in fourth. And the three of them, they're all separated by about 2 seconds each, and then they've got about a 5-second, maybe even 6-second gap to Damien Cross in sixth. So you've got a top four, and they are the class of the field currently. In the second group, you've got Cross leading that second group with John Murray in sixth, Mark Foster in seventh, and then Adam Maverick 8 seconds further back in eighth, and he's got Peter Pavlovich and Andrew Dutch right behind him, both within a second. Which, unlike the Formula Fords tonight, where a second was pretty comfortable, in the Supercars, second is getting pretty close.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly fanned out a bit. It looks like people have roughly found pace order with, I guess, a few exceptions in that sort of early tens with, Dutch, Norris. They've sort of had best laps in the 21s, and there's sort of whereas the three ahead of them, their best laps sitting in that 22s area. But it's actually quite interesting. There's no one that's really broken away as far as pace is concerned. It's relatively even at the top, with best laps for Coleman 21.4, Kirby 21.4, 21.5 for Bradbury. 21.9 for Harris is a bit higher, but then Cross is 22.2. So keep an eye out for Pavlovic, Dutch, Norris coming through that field now, right on the back of Maverick here.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for it. It's called up Blake Fitzpatrick. He's in the pit lane at the moment. Not sure whether that's scheduled or not, but right on 20 minutes. So if we were going to have two stop races, you'd think around now will be when that pit entry would open for a two-stopper. Although I suspect, given they've got 50% fuel loads, it'll be a one-stopper if I had to make a guess. But I'm not familiar with these cars, so I may be bang out of order there. And Levis driving a good race so far. He's up 4 spots from 12th to 8th, and a comfortable 8th at that. With those cars that are both within a second of each other and within a second of Levis, but not really closing that gap.
So it's just gone off here, but I have a sneaking suspicion he's mucked it up here as well somehow.
Let's have a watch through. No, it gets through there quite nicely.
Oh, okay. I could be being lied to.
It might be getting lied to.
That's all
I
right. As
mean-
well, Nick Wood apparently has had an accident, but everything changed on me when I clicked on it. Let's see.
What's happened here? So that's Nick Wood behind the blue car.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's got spooked, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. I reckon it might have been Schmidtke ahead of him that was a bit slower than maybe he expected, or but yeah, he just put that little bit too much lock on. No car sounds. Okay.
All right, you go off with and deal with that, and I'll hold down the commentary for a bit. David Coleman is in the pit lane. He is our leader, so that absolutely solidifies that this could very well be a two-stop race. Given we're just over 20 minutes in, I believe we're 22, 23 minutes in, and it's a 1-hour race, and David Coleman is pitting. So unless he's made a mistake and quickly dived into the pits, I believe that is a scheduled stop, and Andrew Dutch is also in the pits. So the pit window is now open. Coleman and Dutch, 2 of the first to dive in. Coleman, of course, has been leading the race and using a bit more fuel than those behind him. We've been able to get the slipstream, so perhaps not a surprise that he's one of the first to dive into the pits, particularly if it's not a one-line race. If it is definitely going to be a two-stopper, then there's no reason to try and push it out. We now cut to Adam Levis, who's still sat in 7th place. I believe this is live pictures, so he hasn't had an issue. Good to see him running the traditional Castrol livery that he runs on pretty much all of the cars that he races in the GSRC, so it's easy to spot, and nice to see my buddy who's often running production while on commentary actually out on track without me on track alongside him. Closest battle on track at the moment is behind Adam Levis. Look at the cars behind. Might see a move actually just in the background of the screen with Pavlovich under pressure from Hayden Norris. Hayden Norris, no, just going to sit in behind him, not going to make the move. Will they dive into the pit lane this lap? We'll have to wait and see. So here's the question. We saw a leader pit as Damien Cross pits as well. 23 minutes. If anyone can get to around 30 minutes, they might be able to make it on one tank. If this is going to be a borderline 1 or 2 stopper, then that would be very interesting. So Adam Lavis and Mark Foster both dive in, as is Hayden Norris, but Kirby, Bradbury, Harris and Merritt are all going around again. That will take them to around 25 minutes. One more lap after that, and you'd think they'd be getting towards just maybe being able to get to the end on one stop. All these cars will be pitting twice. Glenn Honor has now joined them into the pits as well. Not sure if you're talking to me, Sam, but I'm getting something for your microphone. Okay, I'm getting the commentary back for the microphone, your microphone, Sam.
That's all right. That's that commentary was just to annoy you. That wasn't live.
Oh, excellent. It's a...
But yes, for some reason there isn't car sounds. OBS says there is car sounds, that I have green bars and they're shouting, but apparently there is not. So
is it
maybe
just quiet?
when we get a lull, no, I can't. We actually can't hear them, which is quite weird. So let me know if they do suddenly come up. If not, we'll see what we can do about maybe changing to another a sound thing so that we can hear the cars midway through the broadcast.
All right, just keep us up to date on that, Sam. So David Kirby and Tim Harris now pulling into pit lane. Bradbury and Merritt going around yet again. So Bradbury and Merritt may be going for a one-stopper here. Kirby and Harris, they're in a bit early for a one-stopper. I think that's going to have to be a two-stopper, but perhaps one with just a splash and dash at the end. Matt Smitke and Nick Wood also have not stopped, although I'm not sure if they've reached the pit lane on this current lap. So we'll have to wait and see. Certainly Smitke is going around again, as is Nick Wood. So we're definitely getting a couple of different strategies here. Some cars committing to two-stopper early, and some cars looking like they're hanging out for perhaps a one-stopper, or at the very least, a very short splash and dash, which is going to make it very hard to figure out the real order of this race until that final stanza begins. Bradbury is currently in the lead. He inherited the lead from David Kirby, who's in the lead for most of this race, and he is actually second of those that pitted. David Coleman is in the lead of this race, and he has put in an absolutely blistering fastest lap, 21 dead. That is almost half a second faster than anybody else on currently, and he pitted on lap 16 and is now in 5th place and the leader of those that are pitted, with Kirby effectively in 2nd place and Christensen effectively in 3rd. John Merritt now joins those that are pitted, and Robbie Bradbury is going to go round again. 26.5 minutes gone, 33 minutes and 27 seconds remaining. So we're going to have to wait and see where Bradbury and Merritt come out in regards to Coleman. Watching Coleman on screen, he's going to come out ahead of Merritt, who's still in pit lane. So I think Coleman is in the real lead of this race once all pit stops have accounted for, because he is 31 seconds behind Bradbury. So with the pit delta, he might just come out ahead. It's going to be mighty close.
Yeah, I've just added in the time in pit lane there too, Liam, just as sort of an extra little statistic. Coleman slightly less time in pit lane than Kirby behind. Obviously Christensen's sort of sitting nominally there in 4th, but not really, but with the 22nd time in pit lane thanks to the lap 1 issue. But yeah, all around that sort of 50-second mark, anywhere between about the late 48s and the late 51s.
Robert Bradbury is now in pit lane, so we're going to have to wait and see where he feeds out in regards to Coleman, who is remaining on track at racing speed. Bradbury will be still or at pit lane speeds currently, which means Coleman's going to come up on him very, very quickly. There you go. Pit strategies are in the bottom right. Quite a difference, with 3 or 4 laps difference between those that pitted early and those that pitted late. Coleman, the poster boy for those that pitted early, he pitted on lap 16 and he's going to take the lead of this race. Coleman is now your race leader. He is in 1st place Bradbury's still in pit lane in second. Dave Kirby on track takes over him. So Dave Kirby is now in second place. So we've got Coleman in first place, Kirby in second. Bradbury's just leaving the pit now. He's going to come out ahead of Merritt. So Bradbury in third place, Merritt in fourth, Tim Harris in fifth, and then Damien Cross in sixth place. That is your top six after the first round of pit stops, with Coleman the earliest stop and Bradbury the latest stop on lap 20. Nick Wood now also diving into pit lane. So I don't think anyone's going to quite be able to make the race distance on this stop. I think everyone's going to have to stop again unless there is a safety car or some sort of interruption that reduces the amount of laps that we are required in this race.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't see a 1M dench in the server tonight, so I think there will be another stop. But yeah, I mean, you never know with these guys, whether or not they can be very light on the throttle in the final stanza. I guess we'll find out.
Feels like maybe if you commit to it hard from the get-go, you might just get it done. We're now being joined in the comms box by Adam Tice. Adam Tice was in this race, but I see that you have retired and joined us in the comms box instead.
Yeah, hi Liam, hi Sam, hi everyone. How are we? I got involved in an incident on lap 5. I got taken out, unfortunately. So I tried to keep going around for a couple more laps. And then the engine blew, and by the time I towed, I was already a lap down and repairs. So I kind of gave it up for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. We did actually see that. You got absolutely bodied there. Did you see it coming, or did it just sort of hit you and shock you?
I had this brief because I use VR, and I had this brief flash in my peripheral. I thought, oh no, here it comes. And so yeah, unfortunately, the other guy couldn't do much about his off and collected me, and that's the way it is. Yeah, and I'm not by the time I would have got back on the track, I would have just been having to move across for blue flags all the time. So it's just best to stay out of everyone's way, I think.
Yeah,
absolutely. Why not add another voice to the comms box? Love to have you with us. Is it as tricky as it looks out there? Because we've seen a lot of cars having incidents.
Yeah, it is tricky. I'm not very good at the best of times, and so I try and give these a red hot go as I can. But they are tricky, particularly if you're off camber. So the guys are managing it pretty well. I'm pretty jealous of the guys up front, David Coleman and Dave Kirby, Rob Bradbury doing their 121s. I could only manage a 124 in practice, so full credit to those guys. But they are pretty tricky to handle, yeah.
Yeah, so if it makes you feel any better, at least you were having a clean race, because I think, other than maybe Coleman, Kirby and Bradbury, and I think Harris as well, I think everyone else had at least some sort of incident at some point. Because it's been mad out there. As we're watching Merritt trying to make a move down the inside here on Tim Harris. Side by side, multiple corners. Oh, look at the twitch on the inside there. Did so hard to keep it out of Harris's door there, but not able to make the move stick, and he's going to have to try again a little bit later.
And it does get twitchy at that corner there. You go full on power, and the car wants to turf you into the grass. So we'll probably see that a bit more tonight, where the guys are trying to handle the car. I think it's a case of a bit of downforce at play there, of course, and it's wanting to steer you off. So you got to be a little bit careful there for sure.
And do you know if we're expecting to see tyre date play a role towards the end of this race?
I would imagine so to a degree. It's not a massively degged track, I don't think, and because we're at night as well, I don't think it's going to play a huge amount as it would at, say, one of the other courses, maybe say Sandown or somewhere like that. But certainly, I think the guys would have to be thinking about it at some point for sure.
Yes, it's one of those things. It might not be a huge factor for most of the field, but if you are someone that chews through your tyres, then it might become a bit of a factor at the end.
And the fact that, as we know, with the V8s, fuel at the same time, so you guys have to calculate. Obviously, if you're doing a splash and dash, you don't want to take tyres, but if you have the the room there to make a full fill, you'd want to take your tyres at that point.
Yeah, I do think most of the field will be doing a splash and dash because they got through to around 25 minutes before the pit stops came through thick and fast. So they'll get them through. If they do that again, they'll get them through to 50 minutes with only 10 minutes to go. They'll only be taking on half a tank. So I think it will be a splash and dash at the end. So I wonder if we will see anyone decide to pit a bit early, use the extra time because of the extra fuel they need to take on to take tyres as well as watch Baker just about keeping it out the wall.
As well, good news. We've got some car sounds back apparently, so I've changed something, and it's worked for now. So let me know if anything else breaks. Appreciate all the feedback.
Interesting that before that I had car sounds and the stream didn't, and now I don't have car sounds but the stream does.
Swings and roundabouts.
But no, we can't duplicate this. There is one lot of sound cards and one of you will get it. That is all. Thank you. Isn't modern technology a wonderful, wonderful thing?
Oh, it sure is. I mean, the weird thing about it was everything I could see showed that there should be sound coming through. So, yeah, it's a weird sort of thing because I don't actually hear what comes out the other end that's actually being broadcast. I'm hearing all these other things in between. So it seems like a very easy thing to pick up on, but it can go unseen fairly easily if you are not concentrating, as I'm often not.
It'll be interesting too, guys. I was thinking before, it'll be interesting because this is kind of the first night I've actually driven on the road section of this course, and the road course isn't a familiar one for.
Sorry, look at this straight wide here. Oh no, that was always going to end badly.
Battery, Smitke, and is that Nick Wood?
There was another Bean Boss car.
There was. I believe Padgett was involved. That was a disaster. That was Matt Schmidtke in the middle there, I think too. Goodness, what happened there? Let's have a quick look back. So this is Schmidtke trying to split the difference between these two. Padgett looks like he's come across a little bit, and then Schmidtke's gotten the spurt, come across, dead. Unfortunate, but very bold move going 3 wide. I think he'll think twice about doing that one again.
I'll stay out of that one, boys, seeing as though 2 of my teammates were involved.
That's all right. No, you're allowed to be biased. We'll just note your bias.
Hey, poor old Brendan's been having trouble with the livery tonight, so that's why he's in all black.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Just wasn't loading properly.
Yeah. No, it's been
I do think whenever. Go on. Sam.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's been a few issues with trading paint, especially if you load it up last minute. It seems to not be particularly happy a lot of the time.
Yes, I think I said this earlier in the broadcast. I think whenever you go 3 wide, you are inviting an incident to happen.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're seeing it's under investigation as well.
Yeah.
I mean, having a quick look, it probably looked a little unfortunate in that.
Yeah, it
probably
was.
got a bit balked with Greg on the side and overcorrected for it, but you can understand why it happened. Riddell has also had another accident. I think he's having a somewhat of a difficult night. What's happened here? He's now jumped to pits. Oh, okay.
I think that is a retirement.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Alt F4, I think. That's
he wasn't thinking he was at Bathurst when he jumped down at the end of Conrod, was he? That looked like
it certainly looked like it, didn't it?
I mean, he got a fair bit of height. I reckon that's a new Olympic sport, isn't it? Just ramming cars into walls and seeing how high you can get it to rebound.
Absolutely.
Just going back to that incident with the 3 cars there, lads, too. It was on one of the fastest parts of the track, so you hit in 6th gear, and then all of a sudden you're braking. So there's three cars, 3 different braking points, all trying to go from 280 k's down to 60, all at the same time. So.
Thing is, when you're 3 wide, like you said, Sam, it was small mistakes, small margins that led to the the contact, and in a way you can forgive for small mistakes. But when you put yourself into a free wide position, you know that you're reducing your margins. You know you're only going to have small margins because the tracks just aren't wide enough to sustain 3 supercars side by side comfortably. So you put yourself into a position where you have to be super precise, and then if you can't make it work, then you're getting into an incident. That's why I described it as you're sort of accepting that an incident might happen, because you're just playing with those margins and reducing them to such a fine level that it's unlikely to come off. But if it does, you look like an absolute hero and a genius. And I will say, Smitke looked like an absolute genius with one of his overtakes in the GT3s on Monday. If you haven't seen it, I recommend going and have a look through the fast section of Zandvoort. Just chucking it up the inside with absolute full commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Adam, can I ask you to go walk us through a lap, given you've actually done the track?
Sure. Walking's normally my speed, so
I've put you in David Coleman's car, so he doesn't seem to be doing walking pace. But regardless, I'll give it a red hot crack. Maybe not from that view. Maybe we'll find a slightly better view than that. There you go.
That's right. It's a little bit pixelated where I am, but that's okay. I'll give it a red hot go. So coming up, while we do that much, Mickey's got the 15-second penalty against Brendan Van Reed.
Yeah.
Gee, look at the lock he had to put on that as well.
And that was the corner where it wants to send you into the grass. So this is where you're up 280 and then you're coming down to second gear. Some guys second. I sometimes go first, depending on how bad I'm doing. And then it's a straight short shift up to third around the NASCAR part of the track. And the corner comes up fairly quick, so you think you can take it in sixth, but you've got to come down to fifth, and then it's a real quick shift down to fourth and third down here. And then you got to on the gas a little bit, and then straight into second. Pit lane on the left-hand side, tricky little chicane. You stay in second there, then it's straight up the gears. You can manage to get up to sixth gear here. You can take the corner, the left-hander in sixth, but then you're straight down fifth, fourth, third. You can do second as well. You lose your pace though. And as you're coming up the next left-hander, you come down to second. Make sure you get a proper turn. If you can't get the turn in quite right, you go down to first. Quick right-hander, you stay in second. Slowly get on the gas here. If you go too quick, it puts you in the wall. And then you're coming up fourth, fifth. You can get up to sixth, but you stay fifth.
Oh no, there's a beam boss car on the side. There you go, Adam.
Far out. I'm not talking to the boys after this. They'll help.
Yeah, curse him again.
Now we're back in the fourth, second gear again for this sharp left-hander, the hairpin left-hander. And I think that's
brilliant.
That's isn't it? Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, there is a few corners there, guys, where you do have to ease onto the throttle ever so slightly, because the car just does want to kind of put you into the grass.
And these cars, they are a sequential gearbox with a clutch. So are you using the clutch, or are you running a more traditional sequential?
I'm a sequential. I've got enough problems trying to keep the car on the track, so if I have to less things to worry about, the better for me.
Yeah, it is surprising how much harder it makes it when you're running with the manual clutch. You get so used to not having to worry about it, like when you're driving the single seaters or the GT3s or any of the other cars on the service that naturally, in real life have a sequential gearbox, and then you go to these where it's sequential with clutch, and it's it completely throws you if you're not used to it.
And
it is...
and obviously the disadvantage with not having a clutch is there's no kind of fuel saving involved, so I use auto blip as the setting.
Yep.
But I'm not fast enough to worry about fuel saving anyway. So, as we see, Greg, isn't it? So he's just lost it. He's just lost it on his own. Compression lock, I think.
Yeah, that was odd. He seemed to have been quite slow on the inside already, so I wonder if something else had happened. Or, maybe because it wasn't racing line, it took him off guard with the amount of braking that he could get away with.
And obviously, being night time as well, your braking points are a little bit different, as we see Shane Newen's off track.
Yeah,
Shane's kind of come along too. Shane's sort of found his feet pretty well in the club, and he's a good guy to race around.
Yeah, good. We're seeing the start of the second round of pit stops as well. So just to catch viewers up on that, we've got Damien Cross, who's in 10th place. He's made his second stop, as is Mark Foster. He stopped on lap 28 for his second stop. So we're seeing the start of those second round of pit stops. So those would have been on about lap 30, sorry, let me get that right. About 35 minutes into the race, or with about 25 minutes remaining. So they will be filling up to the brim and going to the end, I imagine. Just watching Nick Wood put on the pressure on Matt Smitke.
And we did, see unfortunately Matt get that penalty, but Matt's come in leaps and bounds too. He's certainly pretty vocal in the Discord in a good way, and he should be proud of his efforts because he's not a slouch behind the wheel by any stretch of the imagination.
He's not, and he's a pretty fair racer as well. He puts his hand up when he makes a mistake, which is really nice to see. Can't say that about everybody, sadly. Some people they get their blinkers on when it's their own driving, but Matt definitely one of those that seems to be a bit more self-aware and happy to call out his own mistakes because then he knows he can learn from them. And as you said, he's done a lot of learning recently and has really improved in pace and consistency.
Absolutely. As well, so I've just looked at the YouTube comments haven't been coming through. Once again, I think with this sort of streaming software, we're still sort of getting used to how it works and how we link in with YouTube and all that sort of thing properly. But I'm seeing your comments, and I appreciate you guys watching. As well, thank you for saying the broadcast is unreal. I'm glad this one does seem to be working slightly better than the Fords at least.
We lost you, Sam.
No, that's because I finished my sentence.
Oh, excellent. I think I might have said that a bit late. I think we lost you before you finished your sentence. It seemed to cut off halfway through.
Excellent.
Anyway, while you were talking, we saw the race leader, David Coleman, pull into the pit, so he's now the leader of those that made the second stop. Merritt's in the pit lane currently, as is Dutch and Adam Levis. So the second round of pit stops now well and truly underway with 15 minutes to go, so that will be a bit of a splash and dash, about half a tank based on, well, just over half a tank based on what we saw from how far they run for the first round of stops.
Hey Sam, do we have the capacity with the graphics to see the elites versus the development guys? I think I'm not correct to say Tim Harris and Dave Coleman are in a development split at this point, but do we have that capacity to show? Or?
I think we have the graphical capacity, but for whatever reason, it's not splitting up the classes.
Okay.
So it's something that I would knock on the door of Adam Levis to help me solve, but he's sitting out there in 12th place, so I might not cut to him at this point to get his insight. He's also just past Matt Schmidt here, so...
You know what we should do for one of the races? We should get one of the races where me or you are racing. We should mic up during the race and do comms from there, and we can go live to the driver.
I mean, mate, you can mic up. I've got enough to worry about as is. I think staying on track and not getting penalties. But it depends what sort of race. Depends what sort of race.
Is there will there be a bleep button involved at all? Or?
Well, I hope so. If we're broadcasting in children's hours.
I'll tell you what, you need one if it was me driving, particularly because of the amount of crashes I've been having.
That's who I was thinking about, to be honest.
Yes. No, I have thought about it. What I'd like to do actually is have, if there's anyone that does, want to stream their race, also link me in with that, and sort of have that in the corner of the broadcast too, just as an extra part. I've seen other broadcasts do sort of bits and pieces for that as well. Now, did they have a fast repair out there tonight, Adam? Because this
one.
Holden has been looking sick for quite a number of laps now. I don't know whether he must have used his early on. This is Pavlovic. But it has looked remarkably sick for a number of laps.
Yeah, so there is
Oh,
one
that's-
available. That's Pavlovic to go on it. Was that he's gone?
Yeah, it's going into pits. I was going to say, he's either gone off at a tremendous speed or he's in the pit lane.
I wonder if he'll have that fast repair available. If he comes out still with a sick car, we know he's already used it. But there is only one available.
Yes, okay.
John Merritt putting in the fastest lap of the race, so 1:20.9. First man into the 1 minute 20s. So he's turning on the speed. Damien Cross trying to defend from Andrew Dutch, who's been up and down the field like a yo-yo with some of his incidents, but matched with tremendous speed. So he's looking to get back into the top 6, and he has made his second stop. Two drivers that haven't made the second stop are Bradbury and Harris, who are currently 1-2. Bradbury now, as I say that, has died into the pits. I was going to say, Sam, nice idea to get some people's streams. I think I know the Vermilion boys tend to do a bit of a stream. I'm sure some of the others that are in the road race teams will do streams. Can your CPU handle it?
What? It's not shown particular competence in anything so far. But there's only one way to find out. I think it depends how many cars there are on track. Then the question comes back to can my internet handle it? So we've got a number of factors playing into the limitations of the broadcast here.
So those words not showing a tremendous amount of competence at anything are not words you ever want to hear in day-to-day life.
That's the old jack of all trades, master of none scenario, isn't it?
Not even a jack of all trades, just a no trades, master of nothing scenario. I think.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Hey, Sam, I'm just kind of thinking. I know Steve Hoppett. He streams his races. Maybe we could test it out in up and comers. Up and comers on a Tuesday night for anyone listening is kind of our practice broadcast where we can kind of test a few things and see if they'll work. But I wonder if we might be able to reach out to Steve and see if he's willing to do that if he's able to participate. Yeah,
that'd be excellent. We'll do that, or the upcoming Enduro as well. I know some of those guys do it too. You sometimes got a bit more time to fiddle around as well.
I think Enduro would be a good time to do it. We've got the 4 hours. So that's so for those of you that are planning on watching that is the 4 hours of Road Atlanta in 2 weeks' time, which should be absolutely phenomenal. Some really good racing going on in that series at the moment. Not the numbers we'd like to see for the Endurance Championship, only around 20 cars. I think there wasn't even 20 last time out, compared to what we had last season when we had closer to 30. But we've had some good racing at the front of the field, and no runaway championship leader currently, thanks to PGZ not appearing, which is Matty Dench's team. So yeah, I reckon let's give it a go in the. If you don't get a chance to try it in the up and comers, we'll give it a go in the endurance racing. And apologies to anyone that was looking forward to tuning into the up and comers last night, but the real world got in the way of our sim racing, which is always sad when that happens. But far too frequent for many of the people on the broadcast. So I'm sure you can all relate. As we're watching Adam Lavis come into the pits for a fairly late pit stop, only 8 minutes. The race remaining, and he's taken his second pit stop at the lap of the race. He is not the last person to do the second stop though, with Nick Wood yet to do his stop, and Brendan Van Wyn, one of the is he Bean Boss Racing?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yes. I saw in my head he was, but then he's got the black next to his name on the timing screen, so which made me doubt myself. But yes, he's also yet to do his final stop. David Coleman in the lead, Kirby in second, Bradbury in third, and they are all quite separated on track.
And we're used to seeing John Merritt, gentleman, quite often in the series. I say he's been a bit quiet with the series, but it's good to see him up doing John Merritt things, being at the pointy end of the field, and so he's certainly, what is he up 4 spots at the moment? And Nick Wood, he's up 11, although he hasn't had his pit stop yet. And also a bit of a shout out to Glenn Arnott down in P12, who's up 10 spots. So I always like to. I'm a champion for calling out guys that are movers and shakers within the race. So congratulations to those guys.
Yeah, it's always nice to call out those that are having a strong race, particularly those a bit further down the field that are having a strong race. It can be hard to spot them because the points get so congested. It's kind of hard to know who's down there because that's just where the skill level are, who's down there in the points because they've only done 1 or 2 rounds. So it's really hard to follow those stories for people down, below 10th spot who are perhaps having a stellar race, but we just don't know that because you can't track where everybody is in the standings very easily. So one way we can do that is by pointing out who's made a lot of positions, hoping that where they qualified was relative to their actual speed and not just them qualifying out of position and then getting back to where they should have been to begin with, like Lance Stroll likes to do in the F1. Not a Stroll hater. I just think that almost any other driver on the grid would do a better job in that car. Anyway.
He wouldn't be there because his dad owns a team at all, would it? That's not a. That's
Oh,
not a
I'm
No.
sure
We live in a
that's not the case.
meritocracy. What do you mean?
Yeah.
He's there on merit, and I'm sure that's in play.
I will say I was a defender of Stroll when he joined because he actually had some really good junior results, and I do think he
He's
could
had
have
some
got
good
to
results
F1.
in F1 as
Anyway,
well.
he's had some good results
He's
in
had
F1.
some good qualities and some good rain drives and that sort of thing. He's just been absolutely shown up by a geriatric though, so it's just it's been.
Alonso is an animal, isn't he? He is
I've
absolutely insane.
Yeah, he's one of my favourite drivers, and I've always had the belief that if you put him...
Oh, boys, we
in the
got classes. Have a look at this. Happy days.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
Oh, it's gone.
And it's dead. Alright, that's good. It was good while it lasted.
There it is. Quickly get him out. So we've got Coleman in the lead of the elite split. It's too blurry for me to make it out now. So in the lead of the open split, we'll call it. So we've got Harris in the lead of the open split with who's that behind him? Can you see that, Sam?
Yes, I can.
All right,
Why don't I have a look? So in the elite split, it's Coleman, Kirby, Bradbury, Merritt, and Dutch, the top 5. In the development split, Harris is leading that, followed by Cross, Wood, Maverick, and Schmidtke.
Question, boys. Adam Maverick, or Lavis as we know him, he's the guy that moves the splits up and down. He's in development at the moment. Is he going to do a bit of a fudge and keep himself in development, I think?
Well, I did hint this earlier in the broadcast when I saw that he was up 53 points on the next guy behind him. I went, I wonder who does the mathematics on this, Mr. Lavis. That's all right. I'm sure he'll hear the chatter on the broadcast and know that he's been found out and it's time to...
I will defend him on this and say that whenever I've raced with him, we're quite similar pace. And whenever I've raced in a 2-split series, I do tend to be right in that bubble between the top and the bottom split.
Yeah.
So I can fully believe that Maverick is genuinely right on that bubble.
Yeah, and that's
between
true.
the top and the bottom split.
Yeah, but if he's at that point where I'm right, do I go up or do I stay down? Does he have like accountability in play at all? Does someone else check the numbers or anything?
I mean, look, the amount of work he puts in, as long as it's not egregious, I'm quite happy for him to put himself where he wants to be.
Yeah, he does. No, but we do all say it in jest because Adam is one of the pillars of the club and does a massive amount of work behind the scenes, for which we are always eternally grateful.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because as well, I always love when the series does have a spreadsheet, and I know that he upkeeps all those spreadsheets. Because it does annoy me when I have to log into iRacing to see what the results are, because it's such a rubbish platform to go through to get them.
Yeah, it is much better, isn't it? I can have it up on my on Google as well while I'm waiting, rather than having to have a third screen up while I'm commentating, so I can just quickly flick to the standings if I want to, which is nice. I have to admit though, when you do those, how good does it feel when you do those, like your first race where you're waiting to see if you're going to be in the open and the elite, and then you look at it and you end up in the elite? It's such a nice feeling. Although then you don't want to go back in it again because it's like, oh, that's not my actual pace.
I've got no idea what you're talking about. If there was, I'm probably on the bubble between open and closed, the closed class.
open and not allowed to compete.
Yeah, can you please just get off the track and into the competition box, okay?
Oh goodness me! Now we better pay a bit of attention to this race because I've just realised it's we're almost about to hit the 58-minute mark, and it's a 60-minute race. So I'd say we've only got a couple of laps left. Sorry, a quick look at the pit stop strategy. Wood, who is sitting in third place in the development series, is giving it a red-hot crack at the one pit stop, going 20 laps apiece.
That's bold.
It's bold. I don't think it's quite going to work out, but it's a very good effort. And
What? It's up 11 spots though, so he's got quite a bit of leeway.
Absolutely.
As long as he actually gets to the end.
Well, that's just it, and it looks like you got about 35 seconds behind him as well.
One of those where you deliberately get yourself overlapped, maybe?
Well, actually, yeah, potentially. He's still got a fair bit of time to be lapped. What sort of times are these guys doing? 122. Yeah, maybe, but he's on 43 seconds behind Harris, who... Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No, he might get
Depends
lapped.
if he thinks he can make it to the end or not. If he thinks he can make it to the end, obviously you go for it. But if you looking at it and going, this isn't going to work, then that's kind of your get out of jail free card to sort of limit your losses and make the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's close enough to the end that you can't imagine if he did dig overlap that he'd run out of fuel. It's just whether he can do that extra lap. Because he pitted on lap 20, and it's now lap 43. So he's gone 23 laps on that tank so far. So there's two really close battles on track at the moment. One of them is Damien Cross, who is in second place in the open split, and he's got Hayden Norris right behind him. Hayden Norris is in the elite split. So this is a real battle for position on track, but not a championship battle. And then you got Andrew Dutch trying to put the pressure onto Tim Harris as well for 5th place, which would be a good recovery after we saw him having a few errors earlier on in the race. Oh look, we can just about fit both on screen as well. Excellent. Love that. No, lovely camera work, Sam.
Let's see if we go to the blimp, maybe that'll do it. Oh, no, not quite. Nah, the blimp's let us down today.
And the checkered flag is out. So the next time they cross the line, that will be the end of the race. David Coleman is in first place. Kirby in second. They've crossed the line.
Sorry, we missed out. They were 0.26 apart across the line.
So Coleman must have run out of fuel.
My goodness.
Oh, got close. Must have been chugging. Oh, we're going to replay that.
Yeah,
We've got Robert
absolutely.
Bradbury. Riggers at home in 3rd place. John Merritt in 4th. Tim Harris in 5th. Here holds off Andrew Dutch, who finishes in 6th place. Damien Cross trying to hold on Hayden Norris, and he does so. Damien Cross finishes in 7th. Hayden Norris in 8th. Peter Pavlovich is about 40 seconds back, so we'll have a little while before he crosses the line to hopefully take 9th place. Adam Lavis has finished in 13th place. Matt Smitke will finish in 14th. David Riddell, Brett Bradbury, Fitzpatrick finish in 15th, 16th, and 17th. So Nick Wood will make the end of the race, I believe, on a one-stopper, the only man in the field to do so, which is an absolutely tremendous effort. Take a bow, Nick Wood, and goes up 9 spots in the process. So he did lose a couple of spots on the last lap or two trying to save fuel, but he will take home 12th spot. Mark Fossey will come home in 10th, and Glenn Arnott in 11th.
I wonder if that was Nick's ploy all along, lads, or whether did he go into the race expecting to try and aim for a one-stop, or was there something else at play? But congrats to him. That was a superb effort, though.
So we're just going to watch a replay of what happened at the end of the race and why it got so close.
Oh, yeah, I think he is out of fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, his teammate.
It's
Oh, well played, lads. Well
Beautiful.
played. You love to see it. You get a broadcast
Get your
night and you
snapshot.
do it properly. That's the spirit. You love to see that.
Yeah, get your snapshot. Get your little clip from that. That was beautiful.
Can we get a chopper shot of that one, Sam?
Yeah. Oh, yep. We absolutely can. At the moment, he's doing some really good business up against the wall here.
Van Gisbergen celebration.
Yeah. No. I'm waiting for him to get out the car. There you go. All right. Let's see if we can see from the chopper. What have we got? While I'm doing this, I just want to check if any of the boys are in the Discord ready
Yeah,
to go?
let's have a look if we've got anyone that wants to talk to us, or whether they're all too tired after trying to focus for an hour around Homestead, Miami, which we've heard is a very treacherous course. Nobody waiting for us so far, but we'll give it a little bit of time. There's David Coleman just pulling over, waiting for his teammate. Gonna see it from the lights will start flashing soon. Beautiful.
White in tandem as well. Very clever, boys.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
So I reckon you could have been a bit more ballsy with it though, got a bit closer. Playing it very safe there and make sure that they didn't actually accidentally take the victory.
Oh, that could cause some inter-team chaos, I'd say. The accidental victory.
Ah, I'd be tempted. I'd be tempted. Haven't had a GSRC victory yet, so I don't know. If it was there, I'd be tempted. That's all I'm saying.
You got to hang around the lower splits with Adam and I, then you might get one.
I wish. Like I said, I'm right on the bubble. I'm right on the bubble. After my push, my one and only push cup race, I was like, I wonder where I will end up, because I was like right on the bubble between Elite and Open.
I don't know, guys. I think I might do something about this close split. Might call it the close split invitational. So you can
Invitational.
come down the bottom, Liam, and show us how it's done, and then start from the back and just just kill it.
Well, mate, what you'd see is me pull away for the first 10 laps, then spin and end up behind, then overtake, get back ahead, and then spin again, and then call it quits. That's my general pattern.
Absolutely.
Either that or get taken out.
So, guys, I missed a few rounds of the V8s. Is this with average sort of numbers that we've been having each Wednesday night?
This is the first time we broadcast it.
Oh, of course it is. There you go.
And we have in the commentary box with us David Coleman, the race winner tonight. Well done, mate. Walk us through your race. You did a brilliant job.
Just a matter of keeping on the track, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't do any passing, it all just fell off, so I'll put that bull bar on again next week. So
Absolutely, and we love the tandem finish with the flashing the lights. That was a nice touch.
yeah, the good finish, but terrible effort to a celebration. I put it in the wall the next corner. So
At least during the hour you kept it on the track.
yeah, exactly. I'm glad I wasn't on 0 incidents because I would have lost my bonus there. So that's all good.
Good stuff. So, how did you go out there tonight? It looked really tricky. I remember we were on a lap there with you, briefly going around, and even throughout that lap, and you were clearly taking it relatively carefully. You sort of had a bit of opposite lock on with the rear wheels going out on you, and all sorts of things. It looked like a handful.
When's this?
Oh, gee, it would have been about 20 minutes ago. You held it fine, but it was just just I think showed up the difficulty of the car and track combination that while you were driving around on your own, you're still having to fight the car a little bit.
Yeah, I was trying to go for that fastest lap time, so I managed to get after the last stop, but it's actually a really good track. Kind of forgot it was on our racing platform. I raced here probably 5 years ago, and that's it. So it's actually a credit to you guys for picking a track like this, because like the practice time and quality times are pretty close. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, so who's been the sort of close competition this year? Because this is the first time we've broadcast this out. It did seem like the times were pretty close, in that sort of top 10 really there. Has it been really close all season?
Yeah, Andrew's quick, but I think the fact that he went off at, I think it was turn 3 at the start, but go off and come back because the grass is really slippery. You haven't really got too much chance to catch it up. So it was a safety car, so that would have been nice, but yeah, not to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
David, Adam here. Congratulations on the win, mates. Because we haven't been broadcasting and we're not super familiar with the current standings, are you happy with your progress so far in the series, or do you think that there's a bit more improvement from yourself to
so far, like I missed round 1, I think it's been 2 seconds and 2 firsts. So I probably can't complain. I actually didn't know the series was running till the second week in, so it was good to see the Supercars back on the calendar.
And with your teammate Mr. Kirby, you guys talking in the server? You got your team server happening, or within Discord? Was there a bit of chat about team orders and that sort of thing near the end there? Or?
A little bit, but the fact that Mr. Kirby went off, I think it was within the first 5 laps, and I ended up following. It just happened to be that I ended up just getting back onto the track quicker. So yeah, there wasn't too much of a team order there.
So it's a little bit follow the leader with you guys at that point.
We're very similar paced, so we're not going to probably, with so long to go, we're not going to sit there and we're still racing, but we'll give each other plenty of room. But it's just the fact that he ended up running off the track. I followed. I managed to get back on the track a bit quicker. So yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Well, seeing as though Mr. Kirby chimed in there, Dave, you happy with your effort? A little bit of jealousy to see your teammate win, or you happy all round anyway?
Oh no, look, very happy. I only bought the track probably half an hour before the server opened tonight, so didn't even know it existed. Like this layout and everything existed until probably about 3 days ago, and then saw the event pop up on Discord through the week. I think it was this morning, so I'm like, yep, I'll do that. And no, it's good to be back doing a GSRC race. It's been a few seasons since the Supercars have been running, so I've had a few podiums there within the series, and since it first all started. So to get back in and run a race, there's quite a few new names, a couple familiar names. So it's yeah, good to be back and happy with tonight's race.
Was David always, Mr. Coleman always the target? Was he the one to set the standard tonight, or were you just really planning on running your own race and seeing how it panned out?
Oh, look, it was, having the off like I did probably wasn't ideal, but I think my plan, throughout the night and everything, even if it was 1-2 at the end there and I was leading, I would have let Dave through anyway, so he's battling for a championship, I'm not, so I can only pop in on the odd occasion, so we'll help each other out, and that's what we all do at Fishy. We're always there and we've always got each other's backs, so no matter what we're doing and what we're racing.
Yeah, but is there a kickback for you because you're letting him through, or how does that work within the team?
Technically,
you'll probably
let me through.
Yeah, well, I did let him through. I just disguised it a little bit differently, you see. So, but no, look, I was a bit disappointed I went off, but look, we're in Discord and we've got 6, 7, 8 other guys all in there doing different things as well. So the chat's pretty full on, and I think we talk everything except for what's going on track.
Good stuff. Congrats to you both tonight, guys. Well done, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And look, I hope, for me personally, I hope I can get back in on another couple of Wednesday nights and have a run around with everybody. It's good to see, like I said, it's good to see Supercars back up and running, and look forward to seeing you all again.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Who to now, boys? Where are we going? I'm kind of only the guest here. I think I feel like I've taken over.
Well,
you're doing a good job. Keep going.
We'll give you some of our pay, all right, Adam. We'll give you some of our lucrative winnings from tonight for all the work you've put in on at least half a broadcast.
I can. Let's go across to Andrew Dutch and get his story of the race. It seemed to have a lot of speed, but undone by a couple of incidents early in the race.
Yeah, mate, I'd be lying if I said I enjoyed that. I absolutely did not. Just trying too hard into that first few turns on that second lap and just carried a locked up brake, tried to modulate it a bit, got off it, and then it just went on me again. So, ended up in the grass, and like someone said earlier, the grass is so slippery on that track, and it's real hard to get back on to the black stuff.
Yeah, I tell you what, there are a lot of cars that came unstuck tonight. I don't think it's I think you should feel too hardened about making a mistake, because I think very few in the field got through mistake-free. Did we see another mistake a little bit later on as well? It seemed like you were pushing quite hard, and then I think there was another mistake.
Yeah, there was. So I think I dropped back down to like 10th or 11th or something, and coming out of that last chicane, just tried to get on the gas a little bit too early, and as soon as I hit that little rise up onto the front straight, the rear end just went around on me, so I managed to keep it off the pit wall because I was heading straight there. So yeah, quick little flick spin around, and yeah, got it going again.
Yeah, so certainly not the races you wanted, but I think you'd be heartened with the pace that you had, because you still managed to recover to 6th even with all those incidents, which was ahead of a lot of people that had relatively clean races. So I think you can take a lot of heart from your pace, though.
Yeah, it was good, considering I was down, I think, at one stage down to P15. Once I got into that groove, didn't have many cars around me at that certain time, and just, yeah, like I said, got into that groove and just gradually built up my pace, got more confident with the car and the track, and yeah, ended up 6th.
I think it's the trickiest track you've had in the season so far.
For me personally, yes. I've been somewhat consistent, I guess, throughout the first few rounds, but yeah, that track, for some reason, I couldn't gel with it, to be quite honest. I couldn't get the setup right for the car. I was constantly changing my front and rear anti-roll bar around the track just to try and feel comfortable, but yeah, it just wasn't to be tonight.
Yeah, any series, any season, you're gonna have your off nights, and if your off night means you finish 6th, then I think that's pretty good going.
Yeah, I had a look at the standings before, so it's still kept me with a bit of a lead, so yeah, 6th is better than last, I guess.
Excellent. All right, we'll move across to our next interview now. Sam, do you want to take the lead on that one? Share the duties around.
Yeah, I wanted to say, Adam Lavis, are you around yet, or are you playing around with spreadsheets? You're doing points? All right, I'll talk to you a bit later then.
Adam's doing Adam things.
Yeah, Adam's doing mathematics. I just wanted to have a discussion around the pace aspects that we were talking about earlier, boys. But as well, I don't think Mark. I don't think we've spoken to you. Yeah, could you walk us through your race tonight?
Yeah, g'day guys. Not too bad. I had a good start. I definitely don't have the pace of the front, say 8 or 9. So I was pretty happy. I think I was running about 7th at one stage, and then I twice towards the end of the race, so I just downshifted one gear too many, put it back into first, and I should have been in second and just locked the rears. Had a couple of little spins which pushed me back. So good little fight with Nick until I think he binned it as well. But it was a tough night, but it was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it looked very tough. So, was there a particular sector of the track that was catching you out, or was it just every single part of it, and rough American road tracks and that sort of thing?
Yeah, not really any particular sector. I think when I downshifted, it was just I've never really done it before, and yeah, like I said, I just twitched too many and went down into first and locked it. Turn 1 was a bit tricky. Just if you missed your braking point by a few meters, you could just lock the fronts and go straight on, which I think I did, but it didn't cost me too much. I just made a few little mistakes, but I was happy with my pace. Yeah, so this is my first V8 series, so it's definitely a different type of beast to drive, that's for sure.
Yeah, it absolutely. And have you been enjoying the series so far? Has there been any highlights? Doing as you expected to, better, worse?
I'm doing better than I thought. I think I'm in 6th, which is surprising
Excellent.
to me. I'm happy to finish a race with cars in one piece. I had a shocker last week at Spa. That wasn't very good, but if I just aim to finish top 10, so which I've been doing. Adam informed me that I'm up into elite now, which I wasn't very happy about. I was quite happy being in development still, but I'm in elite now thanks to him. So look, it's just good fun. It's almost like you are racing other people, but I find that just trying to drive the car is hard enough to then race people. So series-wise, there's a lot of respect between drivers, a lot of space given, which is great. No one really you know that to fight super hard in these cars can be you'll both be out of the race, you'll end up just binning it. So it's been really good, and the numbers have been good too. So it's good to see.
Yeah, that's actually. I will say you are very clearly in the elite split. Having a quick look at your pace, I think that cuts off around that 2% mark. And, you're on 1.3% behind the leaders, which is a bloody good effort for your first proper sort of Supercars series, because these aren't easy.
No, they're definitely not. So, look, I've surprised myself. We'll see how we go for, I don't know how many more rounds there are, probably 5 or 6. But yeah, I'll stick around for it for sure. It's been really good. I'm looking forward to watching it back a little bit later on, and hopefully there's a good broadcast. Thanks guys for putting it on.
Brilliant.
I just got some breaking news, guys, if you want.
Oh, okay.
Formula 1 at Imola this weekend has been cancelled.
Yes, it has.
Oh.
Yeah, so I just was reading up on that. So
what's that about? Did the name get too long for them to say, or something?
No, not the name so much as the length of time that it's been raining recently. So they've been having landslides and other issues in that region, and yeah, it's quite serious. So hopefully everybody is okay, and they're expecting more rainfall over the weekend. So I think they felt that they didn't want to put any more pressure on the authorities there because they're already stretched to capacity.
Yeah, smart move, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, guys. I reckon you'd switch from F1 and get them in some stadium trucks if there's landslides and that sort of thing, you know? Maybe Nick De Vries might be able to move further up the grid than, towards the back there. But then we might even see Lance Stroll in a stadium truck take out a win or something.
Yeah, I like that. An Aston Martin stadium truck. Now that's something I want to see actually.
I'm just a bit disappointed that Max Verstappen's not going to have anything to complain about this weekend with no racing.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be on the sim.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm sure he'll be able to complain about the fact there's no racing.
Well, that's true. That's true. We jest, but it is, obviously it's a safety concern, and we don't really want to get hurt, of course. But yeah, well, thanks for letting us know. No, David, that's breaking news. You heard it here first. On GSRC.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think everyone will sort of go on each other and wishing everybody over in Italy, in that region, like you're saying, in that region, all the best and just stay safe.
Yep, absolutely.
Who else do we? Who is there? Anyone we haven't spoken to? No.
Well, Adam is feverishly working away at the points, and I'm watching the elite split in its final stages at the moment. Andrew Dutch, I will say that you are, still sitting in that first position, at least as far as I can tell at this point. But
for now,
it has closed up to Coleman a bit. I think it looks like 17 points, but they haven't put in all the positions gained in incidents and that sort of thing yet.
I have a question for Mr. Foster, gentlemen. Mark, is that green on your car on purpose?
Yep. Everybody goes on about this green. It is on purpose. I'd just like to stand out just a little bit. It's a bit of a talking point. So, there's a few little names for it, but
the milkman.
The milkshake man. It reminds people of a lime milkshake supposedly. So that wasn't on purpose, but it's just kind of I had this colour. I raced the TCR series with you guys a season ago or so, and I had this colour, and it just kind of stuck, and it always gets brought up, so I just keep it going.
There's no official name for the green, though, is there? We're going to stick with lime milkshake.
Well, I think it's
like a pastel green, is it?
I would say it looks more like mint chocolate chip ice cream with the green and the sort of dark brown.
Green and the black.
Yeah, that's
Very
true.
true.
That's it. If you're getting a good one, and it's not like that rocket fuel mint chocolate chip ice cream. Yeah.
Maybe from here on in, it's going to be Mark Mint Foster.
Another new nickname for me. There you go.
Yeah, Mark Mint Foster. I like that. We've got David CNN Kirby for breaking the news.
Standing, yeah.
Good on you.
I can't get rid of the colour now, can I?
No, it's all on air now. It's out in the open. They'll be talking about it. It's going to be going around the world.
But
yeah,
we know there's not going to be any. The F1 outlets will be pretty quiet this weekend, so maybe they'll report on this instead.
Red Bull can have like a new special livery for next week. You know, when they race them, I'll let them use it if they want it.
Yeah, if you trademarked that colour by now, surely.
Yeah, I'm just doing it right now.
Yeah, good stuff, mate. Good stuff.
I'm sure Verstappen will win in a landslide.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
very nice.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough.
That's all. Oh wow. Okay. I'm a dad, and so I have some pretty awful dad jokes, but that's up there. That's definitely up there.
Oh, I think that was less a dad joke and more a dark humour. I think we'll go with. I was still waiting for these points to get sorted. Adam, how are we looking? Do you reckon we sort it out now or next week?
It's gonna take me a little while, so I still gotta split them into their classes and stuff.
Okay, alright. Well, boys, let me know if you want to keep chatting. Chat away while we get the points. Or if not, you can live in suspense.
I reckon let's let them live in suspense.
I think so.
It's been a long night, particularly for you with your poor CPU running at 90 degrees.
Yeah, it's crying out for help. I'll have to put it in the fridge after this.
Probably one more question to whoever wants to answer, guys. Is this the first enduro of the series? Had sprint rounds previously. Was there a bit of a difference in your approach, or certainly your driving style coming into this enduro round?
Same with every week, mate. To beat you.
Just the extra pit stop was about the only difference for me.
So you're giving a lot of credit, assuming that they've got like a game plan going into the race.
Oh, look, for me, you know, I've raced in another league where they're 250k races just about every week. So, you know, an hour race is nothing really. It's actually a short race than what we're used to. But no, it was good. I don't know what you've been doing for the rest of the season, but if you've been doing like the short sprints and stuff like that, I'm sure those that are here every week, you know, probably would have found it a little bit different tonight.
And how have you found the driving standards tonight compared to the other V8 leagues, David?
Oh no, tonight was good. Lap cars were courteous and made it quite easy. A couple of little hairy moments, but that's racing. You just got to be patient as the faster car coming through. You know, there's no point being aggressive and forcing them into a mistake, because then it can not only ruins their race, but then they can come back on track and ruin yours. So have some patience and just take it easy going through, and everybody survives and races on to see the checkered flag.
Awesome. Well, is this anyone else got any questions or anything?
Not from myself.
No, all good.
I don't think so. I only think I just wanted to vindicate Adam Lovis a little bit. I've had a look at the at the pace, and he's not right at the top of the pace here, so we can't blame him for the maths. He's actually looks like sixth in the pace here, so fair enough. He's just had a consistent season to be that high up the points there.
Consistency counts.
It clearly does. That's why I'm so far down in the points in so many series.
Hey boys, I'm just looking at this F1 news, and the paddock is flooded at Imola, so definitely no racing. Yeah, so our kind of thoughts are with the people over there. That's not a nice situation to be in at the best of times. So yeah, thoughts to those guys over there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not nice to hear, is it? You know, it's serious when the F1 gets cancelled. It's doesn't like to cancel for much. So when it's getting cancelled, you know, it's really, really serious over there. And yeah, like we said before, we just hope that everybody in that region is safe and they get to go home to their families and to their homes that are still standing. And yeah, we just wish them all the very best, and everyone will return in 2 weeks' time at the Monaco Grand Prix, which should be pretty spectacular because that means, particularly with a bunch of cars bringing upgrades that would have been at Imola, to Monaco instead. As for the GSRC, we've got some more broadcasts to bring you this week. We've got broadcast to tomorrow night, and that will be Zach on the comms and Adam Lavis doing production, and that will be the I can't read it and I can't remember off the top of my head. That'll be the Production Car Cup and the Porsche Cup, which are two of the most popular series in the GSRC's locker at the the
Absolutely.
So
it's the 86 at Magna Court tomorrow for the production cars, which is going to be excellent. I'm very much looking forward to it. Touchwood. And then, yeah, the Porsches are at the Nürburgring GP. So I think we've seen a couple of the Nürburgring GP a little bit recently. You won't see me in the Porsches, though. I've stepped away from them. I was causing too much mischief.
By which you mean crashing?
Yes. Adam Lavis can attest to 25-second penalty, three safety points, and excellent rejoin that ruined his race.
Oh, excellent, lovely. And then after that, on Monday, we've got the GT4s and the GT3s returning. GT4s are at Laguna Seca. What a track! Going to be wonderful watching 35 GT4 cars going through the corkscrew. I'm absolutely certain they'll all get through without crashing. And then after that, we've got the GT3s at the Hockenheim, and that'll be a standard format with race 1 being a 20-minute race and race 2 being the 35-minute with a reverse grid top 10. So that should be fantastic as well. So I think we'll wrap up the broadcast there.
It's pretty close.
Pretty close. Okay, we won't wrap up the broadcast. We will instead continue to film.
I was thinking that. I was like, he's so close. It'll be disappointing if we don't quite get there. I don't know. You might need to thank all our
sponsors,
our partners.
I was about to get to that. We've got Astute Finance, Insurance and Wealth, Blackout Electrical Solutions, Fisher-Door Lawyers, Flash Graphics, Login Systems, Waste Options, and West Orange Motors.
Okay.
So those are your partners for the GSRC for season 2023B. Thank you very much, all of them, for being on board, allowing us to put on broadcasts like the GT4, GT3 on the Monday night, the production car and the Porsche Cup on the Thursdays, and for the first time this season, the Formula Ford and the V8 Supercar on a Wednesday night, which we hope will return for round 10.
Points done.
And the points are done, so we'll get those up on screen.
Yeah, we're working on it. There you go.
I'll let you go for those, Sam, because they are a blurry mess for me.
Mate, I've got to do dev, so see what you can get. Okay, I'll try and go through it now. So we've got Andrew Dutch still leading on 283. David Coleman is on 268, following fairly closely. Robbie Bradbury on 258, 211 for Pavlovic, and in 5th, 202 for Norris. So very tight championship battle at the top there. Often you see, 2 or 3 running away with it, but still very tight up the top there for the elite guys. Just give me 2 secs and I'll get the development series.
So I believe in the development series, we've got Adam Lavis on top on 277 points is what we're about to see.
Yes, yep, you've got the right thing up. So
yeah,
maybe start running through it and I'll get it for you.
And then behind Adam Lavis, we've got a very tight battle for second between Matt Smitke and Brendan Van Ryn. Matt Smitke's on 211 points, and Brendan Van Ryn is just 15 points behind on the 196. So that's a really close fight there. Behind them, we've got a really tight battle for 4th place, which is between Greg Paget on 169 and David Riddell on 168. So that literally could not be any closer. Behind them, you've then got Joe Baldwin on 151 points in 6th place, Damien Cross in 7th place on 146, Blake Fitzpatrick on 131, Marlon Carew on 125, and Brett McMullen on 117, rounding out the top 10.
Brilliant. Well, we got to the points. Thank you, Adam. You got him out in time for us. We waffled on for long enough, I think.
Adam, you're currently in 24th place on 40 points.
Yeah, guys, that's probably top of the close to the invitation. So yeah, we'll get that sorted out. I race on my own, so look, at least I got some points.
Absolutely.
That's more points than I've got in that series.
Indeed.
All right, awesome. So we've managed to fill long enough for Adam Lavis to get the points. Adam Lavis, of course, working incredibly hard to get the points to you before the broadcast finishes. So thanks to Adam for that. We've already thanked our sponsors, so we'll thank all of you for watching. A big thank you to Adam Tice for joining us impromptu in the commentary box. A thank you to David Coleman, Mark Foster, Andrew Dutch, and David Kirby for joining us to help us fill time at the end of the race and for giving us the stories of your races. It's been a pleasure talking to you all for the last half hour or so. A big thank you to Sam Chapman, who's run production tonight and battled a overheating computer to do so. I'm Liam Banks for me and the rest of us here at the GSRC. Good night and see you tomorrow for the Production Cup and the Porsche Cup.